I'm so proud of you, King Cheese and Cassie. Counting like there's no tomorrow. Counting all the stars. Counting everything. Counting as high as possible. I didn't even get anything to drink. I just showed up. Was like, yeah, you know what? That sounds about right. We're gonna be. Oh, it says that level. Hold on. That was a different stream. That was a stream where we were trolling people. It's a fun stream. By the way, if you guys want to win a lot of bets, word of the day is especially good today. I'm just saying, word of the day today. You could use it to win bets. Also, what up, Paul? How's it going? What up, Sparky? Just trust me. Word of the day can be used to win bets because it's one of the few words that don't contain a vowel. So if one of your friends is like, yo, name a word that doesn't have a vowel in it, and they're like, ha, Y counts as a vowel. Kruth is how it's pronounced. Kruth. CWRTH. And you can even pull it up on the Googles and show that it's a real word. Alright, so we are going to start off with Suzune before we start diving into this whole weird debacle of craziness. Need to grab a pencil. From what I understand, for Suzune's story and others, and the other scenarios, there are no bad answers. There are 0 bad choices, as in there are no choices. We just get to read. So today is going to be a reading day with Kit. Hope you guys are ready for story time. I will say, by the way, I might be a little bit sluggish. Today was my first day working from home. It was great. I woke up right when I was supposed to clock in because my alarm didn't work. But it was fine. I worked my full shift. It was good. It was actually really calming, really soothing. It was a good time. So, let us start. Suzune. Now I know that this is going to be a story that makes us cry. So, it was almost 1 o'clock. You're good, King Cheese. I definitely woke up just a few moments before. Takuya Kazama watched the orderly collect his meal tray, waiting for the door to fully close behind him before slipping out of bed. He dragged the folding chair closer to the window and sat down. Then he meticulously scanned the entire length of the vast central courtyard outside. From up here on the 2nd floor, he had a great view of the whole open space. The hospital building was shaped like a boxy U, enclosing a promenade that wove its way between the trees, where pajama-clad patients and visitors from their families were enjoying the first day of sunshine to come along in a while. Not yet. She still isn't here. I seem to be doing okay today. If she does show up in the courtyard, I'll sneak out for a walk myself, and then I'll make sure I'll go and talk to her. It's a kid. Hey, what's your name? Well, there's yelling going on downstairs. But we have to wait here, because Takuya just asked tried to imagine what to ask somebody's name. And according to our good old note card from the quiz yesterday, as in last stream, we know that the scene contains a password. So we'll wait for that. But let's just talk. Let's just chill and enjoy the talking fun times. There's gonna be probably, you guys are gonna hear a little bit of yelling. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna be honest. Long story short, my dad got a new phone, and he's somebody who usually is really good with backing up everything, but he didn't. So, oh, it stopped to move. Nope, it's still moving. There's the black bar. Yeah. Well, he forgot to back up, and then he had to erase his phone, so there's a bunch of photos missing. True, Katani-kun, true. Is this not the scene? I don't know if this is the scene or not. This could be the scene. I don't know. It looks like it because there's the black bar again. This might not be it. Let's keep moving until he asks. No, I can't just up and ask her like that. Maybe I should tell her my name first. I'm Takuya. Who are you? Or is it silly to tell her what my name is when she hasn't even asked? So what's wrong with you? Hey, Dakamiya, welcome to the stream. No, she's been here at least as long as I have. Whatever it is can't be small. Yeah, it's not moving. So yeah, no way can I open with that. That comes much, much later. Nice weather we're having. Nah, what am I, 90 years old? I need to say something hip. You come out here all the time, huh? No, that's terrible. I might as well say I've been watching you. She thinks I'm a stalker. In the midst of his internal debate, Takuya happened to cast his gaze back out into the courtyard, and there she was, standing right under his window. She wore a white cardigan over her pajamas, standing with her head tilted back and her eyes closed, basking in the light of the sun. The angle finally gave him a good look at her face. The wind caught her evenly cropped bangs, blowing them back to expose the delicate curve of her forehead. She looked deeply happy as she stood, breathing, a gentle smile across her face. It's Suzune. True. Very true. Welcome to Heartbeat of Spring. Oh, come on, Cassie. No need to be sad. We've already been through this. Takuya felt as though she were smiling at him, and it brought a tightness to his chest. See, the screen's moving. But stopped. He'd always thought it would make him impossibly happy were that angelic smile ever to turn his way, so why did it hurt so much instead? He saw her open her eyes back up, and he hurriedly backed away from the window. She saw me, or did she? No, there's no way she could see me in here with that glare. But what does it even matter? I was going to talk to her anyway, right? So go on, get out there. Finding his nerves, Takuya moved back to the windowsill. She was gone. Where had she disappeared to? Takuya scrambled out of his room and rushed to the elevator. It'll be alright. My muscles aren't too stiff. Today's a good day. Takuya, where are you going? He recognized the voice of a familiar nurse calling out from behind him. But he ignored her and jammed his thumb out of the closed button. Once he was down on the first floor, he made his way to the courtyard exit, slipped on some sandals, and headed outside. What up, Justin? Welcome to the stream. He pretended to be out for a walk as he wandered in search of the girl, but went to the length of the courtyard and back to the spot under his window without finding her. That's odd. Usually she stays out here a lot longer. You look a little pale. Are you all right? Asked a voice. Huh? He turned and saw the girl sitting on a nearby bench. Takuya took half a step back in surprise. Somehow he'd missed her in the shadow of the trees. I'm sorry, she said. Did I startle you? No, not really. You look like you're in pain. Should I go get a doctor? She was right. He wasn't used to so much walking. I'll be alright. I just need to rest for a bit, he said, relieved he managed to answer. Lately his words hadn't been coming out all that well. The girl stood up and reached a hand out to him, but Takuya couldn't bring himself to take it. Instead he simply sat down on the bench. Not too close to her, but not too far away either. Aw, having a crush. His heart had suddenly begun pounding, but he couldn't tell if it was because of his exhaustion or because he was so close to her. So, you're the boy from that room out there, right? She pointed to his window on the second floor, and Takuya had to stifle a gasp. A little earlier, we made eye contact, didn't we? Did we? Takuya mumbled, averting his gaze. I was just spacing out. I didn't notice. I've seen you up there from time to time. You look lonely. Are you not able to leave your room much? She didn't notice that I'm always looking at her. Good. Yeah, I get tired real easy. I see. I'm not able to get very much exercise myself, but they told me when I'm feeling well enough for it, I should get up and walk around a bit, so my leg muscles don't get weak. You have a problem with your legs? No, with my heart. And they say the legs are like a second heart. They play an important part in blood circulation. So if my leg muscles get too weak, it's bad for my health. You know how when a racehorse breaks a leg, it winds up dying? I guess it's sort of like that. Her tone was cheerful enough, as if she talked about this all the time, but the thought filled Takuya with sadness. Is it Takuya or Takuya? I think it might be Takuya. So, he began. Yes? Do you mind if I ask you your name? This has to be the scene. This has to be the scene. Calling it. He asked her name. The screen's still scrolling. There's the fade. I'm seeing the fade. Still moving. There it is. I see it. There is our thing. I want to write this down. Moving like a glacier. True. Is this the same one? No, this is not. I'm just writing these down while I'm at it, too. Also, Mr. Mean Clean. Still doing a thing. Unable to bear the sweltering heat, I stopped at a cafe on the outskirts of town for a little breather. It seems I've stuck my nose into something more dangerous than I'd thought. It's been a month since that incident that threw Shibuya into chaos. And even now, here in the Middle East, I've still got the scoops coming my way. I got wind of an incident abroad of long distance railway a few years back. Seems it involved an armed group that styles itself the Serpent. By looking into that, I might finally be able to learn the identity of a certain person of interest. What a whammy. The lead is a risky one, though. March into it too brightly, I might wind up getting killed. But what can I do? There are people back in Japan counting on me. The exclusive scoop, I landed on that attempted bioterror attack, caused 4-star general gossip to sell like wildfire, and Heaven Publishing made a spectacular comeback. But even so, Mr. Toyama and Chiaki are still going to need my help. So what do? Do I play it safe and head back home? No, how could they depend on a man who turned tail and ran when the big scoop was right in front of him, his nose? And for my own part, my interest in getting to the bottom of this far surpasses my fear for my own safety. Guess I've got to take this as far as I can, until I can find out who Alphard really is. What's the real person like underneath that veil of mystery? My story isn't over until I have what I need. Yep, that is Minorikawa. I guess that's supposed to tell you that it is. By the way, there's the passcode. You guys can't see it behind me, but there it is. Right B, right B. Anyway, back to the sad story. As he fumbled the words out, the girl broke into a beaming smile. That wonderful smile, the one that until now he had only seen from afar so many, many times. Susune Endo. The Suzune is written with the characters for bell and sound, so like the chiming of bells. Suzune, the chiming of bells. It was a name that suited her soothing voice perfectly. Susune Endo. Takuya repeated the name to himself over and over. What's your name? Takuya. Takuya Kazama. Takuya Kazama, huh? That's a pretty cool name. I guess it means tough guy or something. Not that I live up to that. The truth was that Takuya was always embarrassed to tell strangers his name. I don't know about that. You seem pretty cool to me, Takuya. So how old are you? Takiya's heart sank. Only kids had to be told they were cool. I'm 14. What about you, Suzune? From afar, he hadn't realized how tall she was. Taller than him, and probably older. I'm 17. He thought the difference would be less. 3 whole years apart, Takiya's heart sank further. Now she seemed even more unattainable. As he tried to think of a way to nonchalantly ask Suzune where her room was, he heard the slap-slap of sandals approaching. Suzune! A boy came running up. He was young, maybe in 1st grade or so. Hi, Ken. Long time no see. This is your brother? Takiya asked. No, he's in the room next to mine. Who's this? The boy clung possessively to Suzune's knee as he peered at Takiya. This is Takiya Kazama. He's a patient like us. Huh. Hey, I got some candy. Want to eat it? The boy tugged on Suzune's hand. Oh yeah? Alright then, Takiya. I'll see you later. Yeah. Later. Later? Later when? Am I actually going to get to see her again? As Takiya watched the young boy drag Suzune back inside, he felt a bitter surge of resentment. He thought that finally getting the chance to talk to her would make him feel a lot better, but instead he felt worse than he had back when all he could do was stare at her through the window. The sunlit garden suddenly struck him as cold and desolate, so he trudged back inside, his muscles faintly shuddering with each step. Hopefully later. He made his way back toward the elevator to find the head nurse waiting in the corridor, glaring at him. He kept his head down and tried to slip on past her, but she snapped at him as he drew near. What were you talking about with Miss Endo? Huh? Takiya blushed at the idea that she'd been watching them, but he soon realized she was being serious. You should get close to that girl. Why not? He asked. She may not look it, but she's seriously ill. Neither of you have the ability to fend off a major infection, and we certainly don't want you to go catching anything. The nurse looked away as she spoke, rattling off the words. But they let her go outside like that, right? Yes, that's true, but Takiya, why in the world did you go out? Did the doctor tell you to go for a walk? No, but I thought that since I was feeling pretty well and all. You expect me to believe that? You're shaking. Come on, let's get you back to bed. The nurse ushered Takiya into the elevator and escorted him back to his room. He was actually quite exhausted, and so he quietly got back into bed. Nurse? Takiya called out to her as she was leaving. Yes? Suzune, Miss Endo, I mean, she's got a bad heart, doesn't she? Did she tell you that? For whatever reason, the head nurse seemed quite shocked that Suzune had shared this information. Yeah, what is she sick with? It's something very serious, and that's why you ought to leave her alone. But she's going to get better, right? Takiya regretted the question the instant he asked it. The nurse's grim expression was answer enough. A sweet and cheerful girl like that had an incurable illness? For a while, Takiya couldn't even believe it. After the nurse had left, he stared at the closed door in a daze. Excuse me. From that day on, Takiya kept up his vigilant watch on the courtyard, sneaking out of his room whenever he caught sight of Suzune. Bit by bit, the two of them began talking more. Sometimes she'd come out 2 days in a row, and sometimes he wouldn't see her for nearly a week at a time. Other times he would wander the hospital corridors in search of her room, only to be intercepted and sent back to his own room by the head nurse. Suzune was quite popular, most especially the old men, old women, and young children at the hospital all seemed devoted to her, their faces lighting up whenever she was around. Aww. She was kind enough to listen to all their grumbling or trifling conversations. Takiya was equally parts impressed and baffled by her ability to relate to them. I can never put up with that sort of thing. More than anything, though, her popularity was frustrating. He would have had much more time alone with her if all these people weren't always around. Jealousy! He felt like he was the last in a long line of supplicants waiting for her to grace him with a few moments of her time. But after she learned about Takiya's condition, perhaps out of the strange form of camaraderie, Suzune seemed to develop more of an interest in him. Wilson's disease, also known as hepatolenticular degeneration, a congenital abnormality of the liver cells in which the cell's ability to eliminate excess copper from the body is impaired, leading to copper accumulation in the liver, basal ganglia, corneas, and kidneys. The disease can cause difficulties with movement and neurological problems, and often leads to further complications such as acute hepatitis and cirrhosis of the liver. So he has Wilson's disease, okay. I've never heard of it. Is it serious? Suzune's concern seemed entirely genuine. For a brief moment, Takia was almost happy about his rare and grave condition, but he couldn't say that, of course, and so he just nodded. Yeah, if you look, you can see that my eyes have turned kinda brown. Takia pointed at one of his eyes to indicate the pale brown ring in his cornea. Abnormal buildup of copper can cause brownish rings to appear along the edge of the cornea. These are known as Kaiser-Fleischer rings. It's something you're born with, where copper builds up inside your body. I get really tired super easily, and when the doctors checked me out, it turned out I had hepatitis by Wilson's disease. My liver was already seriously damaged, and the only thing that'll fix it is a transplant. That's why I'm here. But finding a compatible donor has been hard. I guess we're in the same boat. You need a transplant too, Suzune? Yeah, I'm still waiting. I have what's called dilated cardiomyopathy. Oh my gosh, I want to say this correctly. Dilated cardiomyopathy. Cardiomyopathy. Yep, medical lecture. Who's ready to learn about diseases? Oh my gosh. Why? It's weird. Can I just say, side note, I know there's like the seriousness of like the coronavirus going around and everything and like that sort of stuff, but like, is it strange that we started playing a game, a really fucking good game, like my favorite game of all time, right when it was kind of getting really serious? Like, that just seems like, ugh. That's crazy. It's all about viruses. I know. It's a weird coincidence. And now we're talking about diseases. A condition where a structural change in heart muscle cells cause the ventricular walls to become thin and distended. This decreases heart function, and as the condition progresses, it can lead to heart failure, arrhythmia, and other issues. Victims of the disease have a high probability of sudden death at a young age. At present, a heart transplant is the only cure for the disease. They've tried other forms of treatment, like limiting food and water intake for long periods, putting an implanted defibrillator, and other things. A device implanted within the body that delivers an electrical shock to a heart that has gone into cardiac arrest due to arrhythmia caused by ventricular fibrillation or ventricular tachycardia. These implants are an effective defense against cardiac arrest, but when triggered, they can also cause intense pain in some patients due to the electrical energy involved. Other things, but it looks like a transplant is the only real solution. Dilated cardiomyopathy. Defibrillator? What are those? Takia didn't understand all the vocabulary, but it sounded like her condition was even worse than his own. But the biggest problem, Suzune continued, is that there just aren't a lot of heart donors in Japan. And moreover... Abruptly, she fell silent. A look of loneliness crossed her face, then she turned back to Takia with a reassuring smile. You'll find a match soon, Takia. Everything will be fine. And you'll find one too, Suzune. Isn't that right? Takia felt like something was caught in his throat. It was hard to get the words out. Yeah, if I'm really lucky. Suzune hesitated before continuing. But even then, I doubt I'll be able to get the surgery. Her tone was so matter-of-fact. Why not, Takia asked. As you learned with Hitomi, my family doesn't have much money, so we can't afford to get a surgery overseas. But it's alright. I don't really like the idea of being saved by getting some poor brain-dead person's heart. I mean, that's what it comes down to, you know? Because they tried to kill Hitomi because she had the Bombay blood. Unless someone else dies, I can't be saved. If I had to think of some family out there grieving over their loss, I wouldn't be able to be happy, even if it did mean I got better. Takia had never thought about that. Just imagining part of some stranger's body getting put inside his own was more than scary enough. Still, if you had to choose between that and death, well, it wasn't even a contest. But if you don't get a transplant, then everybody dies. That's just how it is. For some of us, it just happens earlier than for others. You can't just give up like that, Takia cried. I won't survive unless I get someone's liver, but if I'm lucky enough to actually get one, I'll be happy about it. The doctor told me that people only give their organs on death because they want to. They want to save lives. Suzune appeared flustered. I'm sorry, I know that's the way I should be thinking about it. I'm sure that things will go well for you, Takia, and that they'll find a donor for you, and you shouldn't hesitate to get that surgery. By getting better, you'll be honoring the dead in a way. But she let out a sigh. That's not going to happen for me. Why not? My blood type is really unique. I don't think a compatible donor is ever going to turn up. A unique blood type? Takia stammered a little as he asked. You mean like Rh negative? Suzune shook her head. You've probably never heard of it. It's called Bombay. They say only a few dozen people have it in all of Japan.
One of that handful of people would have to happen to go brain dead. Then they need to get that person here before their heart stopped. And then the surgery itself would need to go well enough. That's too many coincidences to hope for, you know? Takia was too surprised to say anything at all. I'm not about to live what's left of my life expecting that I'll win the lottery like that, Suzune said. It's better to focus as best as I can on what I can do. What you can do? What do you mean? There are a lot of patients here like you and me who have been here for a very long time. Most of them are senior citizens whose families rarely, if ever, come to see them. And I kind of enjoy listening to older people talk. They've all got plenty of interesting stories to tell. But more importantly, it brings smiles to their faces having someone who will listen to them. They tell me that, for a little while, it's like they're young again, like their pain has gone away. And seeing them smile, it makes me happy too. I want to make friends with as many people as possible, to learn about as many people as I can. I don't have time to wallow in my own misfortune. Cute. Takia had assumed that, unlike himself, Suzune was as cheerful as she seemed to be because she had hoped that she'd get better. He had been suffering through his own illness and had thought day in and day out about how unlucky he was to have been born with it. Though he hated to admit it, he had long since discarded any hope that they'd find a donor and give him a successful transplant. Until he met Suzune, he lived every day cursing his fate. Their circumstances were so similar, so why were they so different? Suzune was like an angel. Takia felt like a miserable excuse for a human being. I have to spend a lot of time resting in bed, Suzune said, so I read a lot. Novels, essays. Sometimes I try reading more difficult books on philosophy. I don't always understand a lot of it, but sometimes it just clicks, you know? And I read high school textbooks sometimes too. Well, except for math. I've given up on that. Same. Takia didn't like reading. When he was in his room, he just watched TV. Yo, TV's good too, though. Reading's great, but TV's good too. A lot of the time, the only shows that were on were garbage, and he knew they were garbage while he was watching them. But there wasn't anything else that caught his interest. You should watch House MD, because I think they cover Wilson's disease. I think they actually do cover Wilson's disease. His motivation to study was non-existent, and he certainly didn't have any textbooks in his room. It wasn't like he was going to go on and live a full life, get a normal job, have a normal family. So what point was there to studying? That's what he had always thought, at least. Am I just wrong? Oh my gosh. Good night, Benny. Take it easy. It's never lupus. Yeah, never lupus. King G's. Is it lupus? It's a lupus. Lupus. Never lupus. Halfway through her dinner, Suzune found that she'd lost her appetite. Her mood was bleak. Why did I get so high and mighty with Takia like that? All I ever do is pretend to be the person I wish I was. In reality, all I do is worry about just when this heart of mine is going to stop. I know it's normal to be afraid of dying. I practiced smiling for my father and my brother. I don't want them to see my fear. I was happy and a little bit shocked when I realized that my fake smiles actually worked. My smiles might have been forced, but the ones I got from those old men and old women and all the little kids, those were real. Oh, hey, Suzune. Hello, young lady. Everyone's always so happy to see me. At some point, Suzune had realized that she was no longer able to tell if her own smile was fake or not. Aww. She wasn't lying when she said that the smiles on other people's faces brought her joy. But every now and then, the loneliness returned. She wished she could tell someone how scared she was, finally let herself shed the tears she'd held in for so long, but she'd never be able to do that to either her father or her brother. She didn't want them worrying about her any more than they already did. Her pulse grew erratic. Her intense heartbeat hammered like the hoofbeats of a horse at full gallop, a type of a normal heartbeat known as a gallop rhythm. Instead of a normal 2-beat lup-lup-dub rhythm of a healthy heart, it consists of 3 beats, resembling the sound of a galloping horse, an indication of potential heart failure. A sensation she'd known since childhood. Then she felt an intensely painful electrical shock course through her. Her implanted defibrillator has activated. After suffering through the pain for about 10 seconds, she felt her heartbeat stabilize. What up, fighter? Welcome to stream. I'm alright. My heart is still pumping. But despite her relief, it was impossible not to think about how her time, it's supposed to be how her time, was drawing ever closer. If you're in pain, just say so. It's okay to admit it. It's the nurse. With a start, Susanna looked up and saw a nurse in her doorway. She hadn't even noticed the door opening. Was it time to have her temperature taken again? She hurriedly put on the mask of a smile. Oh no, I'm okay. It's all calmed down now. Your illness isn't the problem. Hiding it is. If you need a little comfort, just ask. Susanna was at a loss for words. It was dark outside, and with the lights in her room turned off, she couldn't get a good look at the nurse's face. The woman was tall and slender and had a rather nice build. Was there a nurse like that on staff in this ward? She couldn't remember. What are you talking about? Susanna felt her smile warp as she struggled to conceal a sudden upwelling of sorrow. You're facing your condition like an adult, but from your father's perspective, you're still his little girl. It's completely natural for your family to worry about you. This person knows who I am. I'm not sure how, but she knows everything. Susanna let her mask fall. She looked down at her hands, balled tightly into fists, and she let the tears come. I want to be a strong person, but I can't do it. Everyone tells me what a strong and cheerful girl I am, but it's all a lie. The words spelled out as her emotions came rushing to the surface. I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of getting surgery. I'm even afraid to go on living. What scares me more than anything is when night comes. I'm afraid every time I go to sleep that I might not wake up again. I thought that if I kept pretending I wasn't scared, that eventually I'd be able to fool myself. But that didn't happen. I'm the only one I can't fool. I think you're plenty strong. Huh? Everyone's afraid of death. That's why they try their hardest to look away from it. Or they try to forget during the day-to-day that it's coming. But you face it every day. Face it head-on. You're a stronger girl than you think. Everyone else probably underestimates your strength. The nurse's voice was smooth and soft. Her words flowed over Suzune, washing away her darker emotions. That's why you shouldn't push yourself so hard. If you keep trying to face all your fears by yourself, then one day you might break. It's okay to let it out every now and then. Vent your frustrations. You're fighting so hard every day, there's nothing wrong with asking for a little help. Wow, King Cheese immediately picked up on who this is. I'm impressed. The nurse sat down on the bed and began to gently stroke Suzune's hair. If you're ever afraid to go to sleep, call for me anytime. I'm always here for you. I'll watch until you wake up in the morning. That should help, yes? I couldn't ask you that, is what Suzune meant to say. But the comforting warmth that enveloped her stopped the words, carrying her gently towards sleep. It was a feeling she'd nearly forgotten. Like something from very long ago. But from when exactly? When Suzune woke the next morning, the nurse was gone, but she did not despair. If she ever needed her, the nurse would be there for her again. Of that she was sure. Good morning, Miss Endo. The nurse who came to take her temperature was the usual one, not the one who'd been there in the night. Good morning. A natural smile came to Suzune's face. She felt deeply grateful that she'd gotten to live to see another day. But yeah, that nurse was Katone. When you guys see the words that, like, glisten across, that's somebody who's dead. Or dying. Like, is about to die. Usually you see it in bad endings, because it shows that the person's dead. So have you picked up on that? Yeah. The weather was nice, so after lunch, Suzune headed out into the courtyard. More than anyone else, she hoped to run into Takia. She understood his outlook on the world the moment she learned of his condition. Plus, it was kind of cute seeing how hard he tried to hide the way he felt. The fondness she felt for him was like that for a younger brother. At some point, she realized that they had a special bond. There was a sense of solidarity, knowing that they were both waiting on a transplant for an otherwise incurable disease. She wanted to say that the things she told him the day before, that was just her searching for an ideal, something to live up to. She wasn't philosophical, she wasn't enlightened, she just wanted to be honest about how hard it was every day. Surely he would understand. But Suzune didn't see Takia in the courtyard that afternoon. She made small talk with several other patients like she usually did, then headed back to her room. Where's Takia? Takia didn't turn up the next day either, nor the day after that. She would look up at his window from the courtyard, but she never saw him. Where was he? Had his condition taken a turn for the worse? Was he no longer well enough to go outside? Suzune had never been to the second floor where his room was, but she knew the first floor well enough that she could guess the layout well enough to avoid getting lost. With that in mind, she decided to pay Takia a visit. She went up to the second floor. Walking slowly, she eyed the nameplates for the rooms along the courtyard side. There, right about where she expected it to be, she found it. Takuya Kazama. She'd been afraid that his nameplate had been removed. If it hadn't been there, that would have meant he'd been discharged. That his room had been swapped for some reason. Or else. As Suzune was about to knock, a voice called out from behind her. Miss Endo? She turned around to see an unfamiliar nurse standing there. Perhaps she was in charge of the ward or had seen Suzune walking around before, and that was how she knew her name. Yes, Suzune asked. Were you looking for Takuya? Yeah. I hadn't seen him in a while, so I was wondering. I'm sorry, Takuya wants to get out more than he does, but honestly he's not in any shape to be moving around much. We're worried about infection as well, so we've limited his visitors. You probably shouldn't be wandering this far yourself. The nurse pointedly pulled the sliding door to Takuya's room closed. If I could just see him real quick. No, the nurse snapped, then hurriedly cleared her throat and spoke more softly. You wouldn't want his condition to get worse, would you? Suzune saw that she had to back down. She returned obediently to her own ward. So he's still alive. He's just really sick. Gosh, I've never been in a hospital bed, as far as I can remember. This just seems lonely. But she had a hard time accepting the fact that she couldn't visit Takuya. Does that nurse have some kind of grudge against me? Not only does she know my name and know about my condition, she must also know that I've been talking with Takuya in the courtyard. Does she think I'm the reason his condition has gotten worse? Suzune knew that his health wasn't as good as he might have claimed, and she felt a little guilty that she hadn't been as considerate as she perhaps should have. It seems like a lonely place. You could play all the video games you wanted to, but I wanted hugs every day. After that, whenever Suzune went out for a walk, she made a point of swinging by Takuya's room, asking several nurses and doctors about his condition. They'd always say he was doing fine, but staunchly refused to let her see him. Was he maybe already? Suzune couldn't help but imagine the worst. Is everyone just working together to keep me in the dark? But why would they do that? Do they think I'm his girlfriend and they're trying to keep me from the shock of finding out something? No, that's ridiculous. Besides, this was a hospital. Suzune knew full well they didn't have the time to put on some weird piece of theater after a patient had passed away. There must be some other reason. Some reason they don't want us to see each other. Willing to do whatever she could to discover that reason, Suzune tried changing the time of day that she stopped by Takuya's room. Maybe nobody was watching, she'd be able to sneak a peek inside. If someone happened to be coming or going, she might even be able to get a look at his face. But Suzune never imagined the way she'd finally wind up seeing him again. On that day, she had been hiding behind one of the heated metal carts used for delivering dinner to the patients. She followed the orderlies as they brought the cart toward Takuya's room. They'd have to open his door in order to bring his tray inside. But before she reached his room, the door swung forcefully open, and a bed was swiftly pushed from inside. Doctors and nurses, their faces pale, ushered it along, pushing the meal cart out of the way as they raced down the corridor. Takuya lay on the bed, his eyes closed, his face severely jaundiced. He didn't appear to be conscious. Takuya! Suzune cried out without thinking. One of the nurses glanced back at her briefly before disappearing from sight with the others as they brought the bed into the elevator. Takuya! As Suzune stood there dumbstruck, her eyes strayed to the open door to his room. With shaky footsteps, she went inside. Takuya's room was largely the same as her own. There was a locker by the entrance, along with a small refrigerator. Over by the window was a TV stand. Next to that was a bookshelf packed with books. What up, honey? Welcome to the stream. She picked up one of the books atop the bedside table. It was a beginner's primer on topics such as organ transplantation and brain death. On the bookshelf were other, more difficult-looking medical volumes, intended for experts. Takuya's been studying up on diseases? I wonder if he's been holed up in here reading this whole time. Maybe he's overdone it studying. That would be a cruel irony. Suzune prayed to a god she never before believed in. Please, save him. He's breathing. Takuya's breathing. Takuya blearily opened his eyes. This wasn't his room. An artificial respirator was fitted over his nose and mouth, and several tubes ran between his body and a hemofiltration machine. Vinyl curtains enclosed the area around his bed. A machine that regulates electrolytes and removes waste products from the blood in lieu of the kidneys, used to assist patients with decreased kidney function. Purifying the blood too quickly can, however, result in a collapse of the body's electrolyte balance, leading to headaches or muscle spasms. He was in an ICU, an intensive care unit, a clinical facility that allows for focused around-the-clock treatment and monitoring for patients with severe and life-threatening illnesses or injuries, also used for patients whose conditions might potentially become critical, or for patients requiring an extreme degree of care following surgery. Several people bustled frantically about. The last thing Takia remembered was being in his room. Was that minutes ago, or has it been days? Excuse me. Could someone... Takia paused. His voice didn't even sound like his own. Doctor, he's regained consciousness, a nurse announced. At that, the face of his attending physician, Dr. Psyche, suddenly came into view. He was wearing an operating mask. Takia, the doctor said, please, hang in there. Takia! It sounded like his father and mother were there, on the other side of the curtain. If the staff had called them here, did that mean he was on the brink? What day is it? What was that? The respirator was making Takia's voice hard to understand. He struggled to form the words. Today. What day is it? It's April 5th. April 5th. There were still over 3 weeks to go until his 15th birthday. What was going on? It's too late to save me, isn't it? You mustn't say things like that. How much longer do I have? Will I make it another month? Psyche lowered his eyes. No guarantees then. Please, doctor. I just need 3 more weeks. Please do whatever you can to let me live for just 3 more weeks. I can't die yet. Dr. Psyche nodded, a thoughtful look on his face. Is there something you can do? Please, I don't want to die yet. I haven't done anything yet. Please, just a little more time. There was a life-prolonging procedure, highly experimental. However, I don't care about the risks. I just don't want to die yet. There's something called an artificial liver system. Clinical trials have only just begun concluded in Japan. Although a liver dialysis machine can be thought of as a sort of artificial liver, an actual liver carries out much more complicated metabolic reactions that dialysis cannot completely replace. For this reason, biohybrid liver replacements combining mechanical functions with active live liver cells from pigs are currently under research, with clinical tests have been conducted in the United States. The hope is that these bioartificial devices will someday be able to keep those with failed livers alive until the necessary transplants are available. By the way, I would like you guys all to keep in mind that his birthday is 21 days from the 7th of April. I know it says the 5th right now, but trust me, it's the 7th. It's a device that uses cells harvested from pigs. If things go well, rather than just 3 weeks, it might be possible to keep you alive until a donor turns up. Hello, Junior Per the Cat. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Meow meow. The mention of pig cells were startling, but right now was no time to be squeamish. The only reason I mention that is because if you know this game, you know why that date's important. Please, Doctor. If there's even the slightest chance, it's worth it. ICU. After Takia was rushed to the ICU, Suzune went to check on him every day without regard for her own well-being. Day after day, she visited, only to be told that he was still in an unconscious state. 3 weeks went by without a change. Then, one morning, while passing by the kitchenette on her way to the ICU, Suzune overheard some nurses talking. Did you hear? Takia's regained consciousness. For better or for worse, poor kid. He keeps saying that he doesn't want to die yet, that he wants to live. He's only, 14? The young nurse's voice was tearful. Suzune felt a new kind of pain in her chest. He was running out of time for a transplant, and with that rare blood type... Rare blood type? Suzune stopped in her tracks, then rushed back to the kitchenette. Excuse me, what do you mean by rare blood type? The moment she saw Suzune, the nurse clammed up and tried to slip away. Please, hold on. That rare blood type. Is it Bombay? Suzune shouted. The nurses exchanged an awkward look with one another, and though neither of them said anything, Suzune knew that she was right. Takia has Bombay blood too. This was a hospital with high-end facilities that drew patients with incurable diseases from all over the country, so maybe it wasn't such a remarkable coincidence. Transfusions for rare blood types such as Bombay were difficult to come by at regional hospitals. There were some advantages to having another such patient on hand nearby. But there were downsides too. Now the inexplicable behavior of the doctors and nurses made sense. They've been trying to keep Suzune and Takia from each discovering that the other had Bombay blood. It was unsettling enough to know that someone else with a blood type only possessed by a few dozen other people in all of Japan was hospitalized right alongside you. But when both of you were waiting for compatible donors in the hopes of receiving a transplant, that was enough to upset anyone's composure. How must Takia have felt when she told him that she had Bombay blood as well? If I die, she could live. Something like that must have crossed his mind. The fact that he started studying up about transplants again must mean he'd been thinking of something. What in the world was he thinking? If our positions were reversed, what would I have done? Suzune knew what she had to do. She headed for the ICU. Tired? I can understand that, Juniper. But don't worry, enjoy story time. She got there just as Dr. Psyche, who was her own attending physician as well, emerged from inside. Miss Endo. The doctor stopped, surprised. Suzune drew herself upright and looked him right in the eye. Doctor, please use my liver for a transplant for Takia. You can perform a living liver transplant, right? If you need to take half or even 2/3 of it, then please, by all means. For a moment, Dr. Psyche looked as if he'd taken a punch to the face, but soon his expression resolved into a sad smile. You heard about the blood. Suzune nodded. I'm afraid that won't be possible. A living liver transplant is dangerous enough for a healthy person. Someone in your condition would never be able to tolerate the surgery. You can do it when my time comes then, Suzune said. Regardless, Miss Endo, I can't carry out a living liver transplant between complete strangers. The law doesn't allow it. If the two of you got married, that would be a different story, but that's not possible either. Neither you nor Takia can legally marry until you're 18. Married? You can't live 3 more years. Suzune had never thought about such a thing, but if marrying Takia would make the surgery possible, she'd do whatever it took. But apparently the law wasn't going to allow for that either. Well, I don't care what the law says. If I'm the only person who can save Takia, then please take my liver. Doctor, please. I'm afraid what you're asking simply can't be done. You need to focus on your own condition and on getting better yourself. I'm beyond saving anyway though, right? So please, I'm begging you. Takia needs... As Suzune grabbed hold of the doctor's gown, pleading, a sharp pain shot through her chest. The galloping heartbeat was back. No, her pulse had never been quite this erratic before. Her mouth opened and closed reflexively. She was unable to breathe. Doctor, please. She has a seizure. An electrical shock went through her from the implanted defibrillator. The world faded as she slowly collapsed to the floor. This is the morning of the 28th, everybody. Suzune had a long dream. Her father was in that dream. And though Suzune couldn't clearly remember her face, her late mother was there too, trying desperately to save her. And then there was Takia. Takia was smiling. A genuine smile. A smile that Suzune had never seen. Sad meow indeed. Takia's mouth was moving, but no sound came out. She tried to read his lips. Thank you. Thank you? Wait, what do you mean? Suzune cried out as she woke. She was staring up at a familiar ceiling. She was back in her own room. She spotted her older brother Achi sleeping in a folding chair nearby. Well, hold on. So this is the epilogue. I didn't mean to go to the epilogue right now. Hold on. Back to the title screen. Hold on. I screwed up. Didn't mean to go to Achi just yet. Also, what up, Jimsy? How's it going? Oh, shoot. Never mind. Once the crowd had put Achi back down on his feet, he rushed over to Hitomi. So, Hitomi. Yes? Hitomi, there's so much stuff I want to talk to you about. So many things I want to tell you. He gazed into her face. But Suzune, he didn't know how to continue. Hitomi smiled warmly. She understood. Go on, Achi. Go see your sister. There's nobody here in trouble that you need to rescue now. Thank you. I better get going then to see Suzune. So, by the way, this takes place right when they saved Shibuya from bioterrorism. Achi. The word creaked raspily from her throat. Huh? Suzune? You're awake! Her brother rose from the chair, then excitedly scampered out of the room. With a start, Suzune realized something was attached to her chest. She felt a peculiar sensation, 6 distinct tingles all running from the center to the left side of her chest. Electrocardiographed electrodes. She followed the leads that ran from her chest to the monitor by her pillow and was surprised to see the waveform moving across it. It was her pulse. And amazingly, the rhythm was solid and strong. Nothing like the one she'd been familiar with for so long. No, that's not my pulse. Suzune realized what she was seeing. She understood instinctively. This heart, it was Takia's. Achi returned with Dr. Psyche, who proceeded to check the various monitoring devices by the bed, nodding and smiling with satisfaction. It's good to see you awake again. For now, there don't appear to be any signs of rejection. Of course, we need to be vigilant, but this new heart seems to be a good match for you, Miss Endo. It's Takia's, isn't it? Please tell me it's not. I told you I wanted him to have my liver. Takia was dead. If she had his heart now, there was no way he was still alive. Dr. Psyche looked away, and for a while he said nothing. When it comes down to who your donor is, I'm not at liberty to say anything. You understand that, right? So instead, let me tell you how things went for Takia in the end. You two were friends. Boyfriend and girlfriend, maybe? Either way, you have a right to know about his passing. Takia's passing. Suzune had already imagined as much, but now she couldn't hold back the tears. Takia is dead. He's dead. Dr. Psyche went on. Takia begged me to help him keep him alive just a little bit longer. His family agreed, and so we proceeded with an artificial liver system, a treatment that's relatively untested here in Japan. For a while, his symptoms abated, and he even regained consciousness. The doctor took a breath, but it was already too late. He lapsed into a coma due to acute liver failure, and then developed complications, a condition known as DIC, which causes clotting in blood vessels throughout the body. Initially, we thought he might have hepatomic encephalopathy, but a CT scan on the head revealed cerebral edema. He was declared brain dead 2 days after his birthday. His birthday is the 26th. 2 days later, he was 15 years old. Dr. Psyche gave her a significant look. Suzune wondered what that implied. He was insistent that he make it to 15, Psyche continued. He said there was something he absolutely needed to do. On his birthday, he called for his family and told them, I want to register as an organ donor. To register as an organ donor, you must be 15 years old. Huh? Here in Japan, individuals under 15 years of age aren't allowed to give consent for organ donation. If Takia had died before he turned 15, then his heart, all of his organs rather, could not have been provided to a patient in need. And that was something he wished for very much. He went through intense, searing pain, wound up in a coma for 3 weeks just so he could turn 15, so he could donate his heart to the girl he admired. Takia had been reading up and studying, and he learned that he needed to survive until he turned 15. He asked for life-prolonging measures to be taken, all so that he could register as a donor in order to give me his heart. And I don't know what it was, but apparently a surgeon was able to perform a transplant for a patient believed to be an ideal match for his heart. Evidently, this patient was also comatose and in an extremely dire state. But from what I hear, the surgery seems to have gone quite well. Of course, I do not know the identity of the patient either. Suzune strained to move her right hand, setting it atop her chest. Underneath the layers of the bandages, she could feel a heartbeat, steady and strong. Takia's heart is beating within me. He left a letter for you. I haven't looked at what's inside, so I'm not sure what it says. Dr. Psyche set a white envelope down on the bedside table and then left the room. They can only allow family in, King Cheese. They can only add family. Achi. Wait, I don't know why I gave Suzune Dr. Psyche's voice. Achi, read it to me. She didn't feel strong enough to read it herself, but she didn't want to wait. You sure? Achi asked. All right, then. Let's see. Achi opened the envelope, slid the letter out, and began to read. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. Suzune. If you're reading this letter, that means everything has gone well. Congratulations. And also thank you. Ever since I became sick, no, even before then, I hadn't known what it was like to be happy. I hated the world. I went through my whole life just thinking about how pointless my existence was, an excuse for a human being with no reason to live. What did it matter if I was here or not? I hated that I was going to die so young, but at the same time, it seemed pointless to try to live any longer. And then I met you. I fell in love with you. I love you, Suzune. With all of my heart. With you in this world, I wanted to go on living a little longer, because living would actually have some meaning. When I found out that we had the same blood, I was shocked. It had to be fate, right? Neither of us was going to be able to survive on our own, but if one of us sacrificed ourselves for the other one can go on living. And I wouldn't be able to bear any world without you in it, Suzune. The answer was clear. I want you to have my heart, Suzune. That's the best possible thing for the both of us. You're probably a little sad, knowing that I'm gone now. I'll be happy if that's the case. But will you please be happy for me, now that my heart is inside you? That would make me even happier. Happier than anything. Thank you so much for taking my heart. It'll beat for you as hard as it can. I hope. I wish we could have talked more. If it had only been possible, I would have liked to have gone somewhere with you. But it's okay. This way I get to be with you forever. I won't be lonely anymore. Goodbye. I'm looking forward to our future together. Takia Kazaba. This is giving me goosebumps, man. This is giving me goosebumps. Achi's voice grew gradually more hoarse as he read. By the end, he was struggling not to weep. Damn it. Did it really have to be like this? Suzune was more astounded that she was sad. Of course, she was upset that Taki had died, and she was glad that she was going to live. But above all, she was amazed by the fact that Taki had cared for her as much as he had, that he'd fought so hard to prolong his own life just to save hers. That moved her more deeply than anything she'd ever known. Maybe a young crush couldn't be called real love, but that didn't make it any less pure. Thank you. Goodbye, and I'm looking forward to our future together. I wish I had the ability to cry. I'm feeling so emotional. And, oh my gosh. That was that. Oh my gosh. Can we just get a round of applause for this game? Can we please get a round of applause? This game is a 10 out of 10. This is a 20 out of 10. This game is so fucking good. This game is so goddamn good. This game makes you feel all of the emotions in all the right places. It has a story. This is also the Cassie, not the time. I know I do that, but not the time for that now. But like, real talk. What would you do in the situation? You have the entire hospital trying to separate you because they knew if they both been friends and found out, and both had found out that they had the blood type that could save the other, they didn't want either of them to feel sad or regret, or risk or do something stupid in that case. But Takiya's persistence and him keeping quiet in his secret and just imagine how much pain he went through. Imagine how much pain he must have gone through. Think about it. Think about it for a second. He is a 14-year-old boy who's about to turn 15. Who, goddamn, Koichi Nakamura. Look at that, Nakamura. Fucking great producer. And Jiro Ishii. Jiro Ishii as well, executive producer, fantastic. But like, think about all the pain Taki must have gone through. He was in a near comatose state 3 weeks before his birthday, and he must have been in so much pain from his 14th birthday all the way to 15. But he stuck it out. He endured 3 weeks of probably agonizing pain to save her. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Spike Chunsoft makes the best games. Holy crap. Wow. Heartbeat is spring. Well, very true, very true. Well, now it's time. I know we went for sad times, but now we need to go learn more about different characters. So, we are not going to do canon stuff just yet. We're going to be doing that next stream. We're going to be wrapping up the rest of the scenarios hopefully next stream. What I want to do right now is I want to go through and find the rest of what is needed. The rest of the character intros. So I have our list that we wrote out the other day. Here's Maria. So we're just gonna keep moving. I have to keep skipping through, but we are looking for a scene where she is carrying her costume. Bye, Decamio. Take it easy. Hope to see you later. Here we go. I think this is the scene, because she's hauling the costume. Because what I have written is Tama 1400 hauling costume. Yep, there it is. I see it already. And I'll wait for it so that way you guys can actually see what the code is for those who play the game. By the way, buy this game. Super good. I need to tell people to freaking play this game. I'm trying to get Blaze to play this game. Because, like, he's been playing Ace Attorney, he's been playing some pretty good games. But, like, Blaze, I suggest tell Blaze, he needs to play this. I believe they probably date in an epilogue. You never know. I mean, we're in a good timeline. Osawa's alive. Alright. Let's pop it up there. Juniper don't play games, but if you watch them, I mean, I appreciate it regardless, Juniper. Meow meows to you. Cats to Juniper. I'm waiting a little bit longer, though, so that way, because I know with my background how it is. How do you get this game? You buy it on Steam. I'm playing this on the PC, but it's also for the PS4. Yeah, because the background kind of blocks it. It's still going. Nope, never mind, it stopped. It's right, B, 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 right, right. Oh no, it's still moving. Hold on, it's still moving. Nice. There you guys go. You can kind of see it. At least we see mean clean down there. Look at that. So. Masamichi Fukuma. He's the mascot salesman. Crunch, 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 crunch. Masamichi Fukuma sits on a cardboard box, nibbling away at some rice crackers. Crunch, 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 crunch. Fukuma's in charge of making deliveries for a costume rental company. Once he gets an ordered item to its destination, his job is pretty much done. Today, his mouth is on autopilot as he stares at the big screen TV in his office. The afternoon variety show is doing a feature on the big revival concert for the legendary hard rock band Z Japonica. Ha! Oh. Sorry, that was a yawn. Yeah, that's how you yawn. Fukuma lets out a big yawn. There's nothing interesting in the way of news either. He considers pretending that he has another delivery and taking the company vehicle over by the Oyoyama Cemetery, where he can sneak a quick nap. Suddenly, the door to the room swings open. Bounding through it comes a pink rabbit. Fukuma quickly stands at attention. He does this because he's afraid that the rabbit is his father. His father owns the rental company and has recently grown so fond of the mascot costumes that he's rarely seen outside of his rabbit suit. Most of his employees don't even know what he actually looks like. Whoa, I'm sorry I'm late. What? I'm sorry I'm late. A woman's voice emerges from the rabbit's mouth, panting raspily. Now that Fukuma has calmed down enough to process things, he recalls that his father's costume is brown. It's a wild rabbit. The pink bunny costume is one that the company has on hand for rental. Fukuma lets out a sigh of relief. I'm here to return this. The rabbit squirms in an attempt to remove her head, but she can't quite reach the fasteners. Here, let me help you with that. Fukuma gives her a hand and tugs the head off by the ears. The head pops off, revealing the attractive, slightly ruddy face of a young woman. Her hair is done up, and beads of sweat run down her neck. Thank you so much, that's a huge help. The pink rabbit with the girl's face smiles. Fukuma swallows. His heart skips a beat. She's perfect. I, suppose to have this back by 5 p.m. Is that still okay? Close enough. I can't do voices, apparently. Fukuma checks the clock on the wall. It's coming up on 5 o'clock exactly. Yes, that's quite alright. If you could just take the costume off now. Oh, good. Relief shows on the woman's face, then she just as quickly vanishes. Oh, she says in dismay. Wait, no. What's the matter? The woman looks away. This suit's really hot, so I'm not wearing a whole lot underneath. Fukuma's not gonna be a virgin. Fukuma's not gonna be a virgin. Not wearing a lot. A flurry of appealing images rushes through Fukuma's head. I'm sorry to ask, but is there a room someplace I could use to get changed? Oh yeah, of course, there's a room. I can show you to a room. Silently, Fukuma leads the young woman to a spare room. When you're done changing, just let me know. He gently shuts the door and then starts to head off. Oof. A groan of discomfort stops Fukuma in his tracks. Right now, the only ones in the office are him and this young woman. He presses his ear to the door and he hears the sound of a zipper being pulled down. All of a sudden, becomes a man. Calling it. Welcome back, Justin. Oh, my arms. He can hear her squirming her way free of the body piece. The arms are always the toughest part when you're new to the things. He imagines her twisting her body this way and that as she strains against the costume. Fukuma's breath quickens. Okay, just whoa! A sound of piece of furniture being knocked over comes through the door. Are you alright, miss? Fukuma calls out hurriedly. Sorry, I just tripped. Are you hurt? I'm okay. This thing's just really hard to get off. My sweat has the fabric all stuck to my skin. Stuck to her skin with sweat. Such simple words to fiercely entice a man's fantasies. So, what should I do? She asked meekly. What should I do? What does come next? Fukuma's fantasies run all the more wild. I'm sorry, it's really awkward to have to ask this, but would you mind coming in here? There it is. Her idea. Not mine. Yes, of course I'll head on in. Carefully, Fukuma opens the door. The woman stands there, the rabbit suit halfway off. Her slender shoulders are exposed beneath her frowning face. He also notices that she's rather well endowed, giving her a slender frame. I'm sorry, I think the zipper along the back is snagged on the fabric. It won't come down. The woman turns to show her back. Her smooth, pale skin glows. She's a vampire, actually. Her sweat glistens in the light. Would you mind giving me a hand with this? Uh-huh. Fukuma's voice spikes unintentionally. The woman's quickly whirls around. She draws her hands up to her chest. He can't take his eyes off her cleavage. Hey now, just where are you looking? No, I'm not looking at anything. Fukuma forces himself to cover his eyes with a hand. Peeking between his fingers, he gets a glimpse of her face, red with anger. It's okay, he assures her. I know where everything is, even with my eyes closed. All right, if you'd be so kind, then. At last, she seems relieved. She turns to face the window, again presenting her back. Now's my chance. Fukuma's eyes snap back open and he drinks in the sight of the young woman's back. You're not looking, are you? No, of course not. I can see your eyes are open in the reflection of the window. Sorry. This time Fukuma really does close his eyes and begins groping forward in search of the zipper. Hey, watch your hands! Sorry, just trying to feel my way around. My back is just really sensitive. Man is a troubled animal. Simply hearing that her back is sensitive has his blood pressure spiking through the roof again. Alright, I hate this guy now. No worries, Juniper. No worries. Good. American's fine, too. His hands shake with excitement, and somehow his arms get lodged inside the suit. Eek! Sorry! His bare skin is slick with sweat and wonderfully smooth. It's been many years now since Fukuma last had a girlfriend. I wonder why. He feels like his mind might short-circuit out of joy and excitement. He shouldn't do this. He has to calm down. This is work. He needs to be professional. This time for sure, Fukuma vows to himself. Eep! The woman drops down as if weak in the knees. She then proceeds to shuffle away from Fukuma. Oh, this is bad. This time it's real bad. Her posture has made the curves of her backside visible. She crawls on all fours toward the wall in an attempt to get away. That wasn't on purpose, Fukuma pleads. Seeing that she isn't listening, he steps in front of her, spreading his arms wide to bar her way. The first time my hand slipped because of the sweat. I made sure to try to be more careful next time, and look, it's the zipper's fault. Abruptly, the door swings open. Standing there is a wild rabbit. Dad? To Fukuma, the rabbit's long ears look like devil horns. The creature marches slowly into the office. It's just a costume, but somehow its fur appears to stand angrily on end. Fukuma needs an excuse. He needs an excuse and fast. It's not what it looks like. I was just trying to help her get it off and... He doesn't get to finish the sentence. The rabbit swings his fist with all the might of the king of beasts. And Fukuma dies. Pretty much, King. Always happens. Always happens with these streams. We bounce around quite a lot. Alright. 1500, Kano and Stanley running. I don't know where are they running? Because they're running over here, right? Because it's when they're chasing the minivan. There's Ayakamiki, who also actually has an actual music career, if I recall. So there's the two of them running. The minivan is exploded. And then we should be able to see in the distance Minorikawa saving people. By the way, that's the most worried. Yep, there's Minorikawa in the background, trying to corral the people. You got some injured people. Alright, this should be the scene, because that's where they were running. But that's the most concerned we have seen, like, keep in mind, back when we got to play this part, that was the most concerned we've ever seen Stanley. Stanley usually was not one to be concerned, yet here we are. This is not the right scene. Because the scene stopped. New development. So we have to see them running. That's what the scene has to look like. Running. It might be to the scene of Sasayama stabbing. Maybe? Right now we need to see... Does anyone remember? And there's Sasayama dead. Or dying. Mr. Gangsta. Look at the gangsta. We still don't know who his wife is, by the way. I hope we figure out soon. Mrs.'s birthday. Paramedic team finally arrived at the scene. Nothing's gonna be fine. He gangsta, yo. Don't blame yourself. So it's got... There we go. This is the one. This is the scene. This has to be the scene. This absolutely has to be the scene. It can't be like, this is them running. You send me a friend request on Switch? Perfect. I will add you once I get on the Switch at some point. But yeah, this has to be the scene. Even though Stanley looks like he's at a brisk jog. Oh, that's my phone going off. Apparently, this is not the scene. Alright, this looks like the scene. Now it looks like that Stanley's running. Also, we might be seeing this on the left side of the screen. I'm waiting for the blur. We should see the blur at some point. Back again, thanks YouTube. Gotta love the YouTubes. Seriously? It stopped, so it's not here. Alright, now it looks like they're running. I'm just waiting. So I'm just doing a quick text. Alright. Now they're running. Now they're running. Now it's also the right side of the screen again. Alright, where's the blur? I'm waiting for the blur. What the heck is that goat demon thing looking in the background? Oh no, that's somebody's pants. Never mind. Oh wow, that was quick. There's no blur. It's just, there it is. So we got right, B, right, B. See, now you guys can see it. Rumi Kudo. We never seen Rumi's face before. Can we see Rumi's face? Special episode? I'm not sure I get what you mean by special, but you're not sharing a bunch of half-truths about my daughter with anyone. The end. What? Well, that's what I'd like to say, but you worked too hard to try to find this thing, so it'd be rude to leave you with just that. My name is Shuzo Kudo. Rumi's my only daughter. Maybe it's presumptuous of me to brag, but today let me talk a little bit about her. I won't mince words. Rumi is beautiful. After we walked around Shibuya together today, I feel that more strongly than ever. All the other women out on the street made my Rumi look even more dazzling by comparison. That's how much her good looks stand out in the crowd. There's no end to the trouble that comes your way when you have a daughter that's gorgeous. You never know when some low-life boyfriend might latch onto her. Still, using the techniques I fostered during my police days, keeping tabs on Rumi's daily activities isn't too difficult. When she heads someplace even slightly dangerous, I make sure to tail her from a distance in order to keep a watchful eye on her. When work doesn't let me do that, I have one of my off-duty colleagues go in my stead. Let me tell you about what happened out in summer several years ago. At the time, Rumi was in high school and she told me she was going to a fireworks festival with her friends. There was going to be tens of thousands of people at the festival, tailing her in a crowd that size would likely be impossible. And so I entered a bid to be the person in charge of security for the event. I drafted up a high-level security plan and got to head things up on site the day of. Thanks to that, the event went off without a hitch, and I was able to keep my Rumi completely safe. I may have gone way over the security budget, but what else was I supposed to do when my daughter's safety was at stake? No doubt there are some people who think that I go too far in my actions, and to those people, let me just make one thing abundantly clear. I most certainly do not go too far. In fact, if you saw how lovely Rumi is, you'd probably think I wasn't going far enough. And I'm not saying that with any parental bias or anything either. I'll have you know that Rumi was chosen as Midoriyama Academy's Miss Midoriyama too. And so was Maria, and so was Hitomi. And I didn't have any part in making that happen. I did consider orchestrating things ahead of time, but I didn't have any connections with the Ministry of Education, so that wasn't an option. My point is, I put my strongest efforts into taking care of my daughter. I have loved her uncompromisingly, and yet, I need to accept that someday she'll leave the nest. The problem is that the guy she fell for is a detective. That was my blind spot. I'd never considered that Rumi might fall in love with a detective. Choosing a civil surgeon as a marriage prospect is all well and good. Still, if he's going to be a civil servant, he should be anything but a detective. Lately, though, my insistence on the point has been starting to waver. After the long years I spent working as a detective, I can tell what my girl is really thinking with every word, every little change in expression. Rumi's feelings for her boyfriend are the real deal. She loves him from the bottom of her heart, and he's very dear to her. Maybe she even loves him more than her own father. He's the man Rumi chose. He's probably got his act together too. The fact that he's a detective still bothers me, but I can't deny my daughter her happiness forever. When I think about how she feels, I wonder if I should let her marry him. But I'm a stubborn man. I've been opposed to their getting married this whole time. My body language says it clearly enough. No detectives. And if that alone is enough to make a guy back down, Well, if that's the case, then good riddance. I can introduce Rumi to a fine civil surgeon who isn't a detective instead. Maybe in about 10 years or so. Finn. Do we not see her face? I want to see her face! No idea, Katone. Also, I think you are behind the stream. I want to see Rumi's... How do we see Rumi's face? That's what we should also do. Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. I have 1500 Minorikawa Bad End. And if I recall correctly, I have to wait for the screen to move. All right, the screen is moving. I don't know if this works, because it just says Midorikawa Bad End. Does anyone remember what like the whole thing was? I mean, the screen's still moving. I'm waiting for it. Like, I'm just keep watching the screen just moving, just to be sure. Go on top to bottom. It could be like a super slow one. Still moving. It is! It is this one! There's Mean Clean! I see Mean Clean at the bottom. Wow. This one's a super slow mover. Well, we have the time. Let's see. So, let's go. Leads to Bad End. Minorikawa. Yep. It's right down there. I see it. Gosh, there's only so many characters left that we need to talk to. There's the Knickknack Shop owner. There's Kibazuka. Who else are we missing? We're missing Kibazuka. We're missing the Knickknack Shop owner. What other, like, minor characters are there that we saw? We've already saw Yanagashida. Daisuke? Maybe Daisuke? Maybe Katone? Could be Katone too. Right B, right, B, B. There it is. You guys can see it. See who it is. Ryoko Kakinuma. It's the waitress that hates Minorikawa. Ryoko Kakinuma. Her name may not ring a bell, but you might recognize her as one of the waitresses who works at the Cafe Ladrek. She's currently enrolled in the law school at Midoriyama Academy. Her hope for the future is, of course, to become a lawyer. Revisions to the bar exam have made that challenge a trifle easier, but still a tough obstacle to overcome. She practically studies in her sleep. Listening in on trials is one of Ryoko's hobbies. She takes the Tokyo Metro Hibai line to Kazumi Gaseki station and then heads to the nearby court building to observe whatever's going on there. Ryoko is especially fond of the district court, which handles the first hearing in local cases. Trials can be quite interesting. They're like little dramas about human emotions and desires. But recently, in the course of her courtroom visits, Ryoko found herself with a new reason to be present. She caught sight of a man in the courtroom who utterly intrigued her. She wanted to approach him, wanted to talk to him, but it was never going to happen. Now then, shall we begin? His low, honeyed voice made Ryoko's heart melt. Will the defendant please come forward? The man who had so fascinated her was the presiding judge. His eyes gleamed with cool intellect, while his wild shock of hair hinted as a rugged individualism. Ryoko couldn't help it. She wanted to be closer to this man. But the judge's bench was so very far removed from the visitor's gallery. Oh, what can I possibly do to get near him? Should I sully my hands with some crime? If I did, he'd have to look me in the eyes as he rendered judgment. The more observed Ryoko's fantasies grew, the more the judge consumed her thoughts. Today, as she waited for a court session to begin, she could think of nothing else. Ryoko sat in the visitors' gallery wearing a brightly patterned dress. Would he notice and find her change of style appealing? What if What if he thought it didn't suit her? She facilitated between getting worked up in a good way and in a bad way. She imagined him thinking one thing or the other. You're always in here, aren't you? Ryoko turned at the voice to see a group of middle-aged women gathered behind her. All of them had gaudily dyed hair and sported gold necklaces and rings. And who might you be? Ryoko asked with some trepidation. You made eye contact with him earlier, didn't you? Huh? Don't play dumb, we know the score. This wasn't making any sense. What are you talking about? The woman's faces abruptly turned sour. You need permission from the boss first, one of them said. Otherwise, how could we possibly maintain order? Look, I really don't know what you're getting at here. Could you explain from the beginning, Ryoko asked. The women sighed in unison. That's a newbie for you, said one. Now, we were all like that at first, said another. Very well, I suppose. Allow me to explain. One of the women stepped in front of Ryoko. We're groupies of the judge who's about to show up. Ryoko's eyes went wide. She never imagined that a judge could even have groupies. But, the older woman continued, if we simply do as we please, we'll be a nuisance to the poor man, when of course what we want is to be supportive. The other woman nodded in agreement. Yes, don't make the first move, don't try to give him anything, just look. But don't make too much eye contact. And no hogging him for yourself, we share him with everybody. That's just the basics of groupism. A normie like you coming along uninvited, well, you best take care not to cause trouble. Groupism? Normie? These were clearly jargon, but Ryoko had no idea what they mean. Hey, are you even listening? One of the women asked. Yes, I am. Sorry, I don't really understand the words you're using. Groupism is the practice of helping your fellow groupies. Normies mean regular old normal people. Oh, sure. I get it. Ryoko inclined her head. So, what do you want with me? If you're going to be making eyes at that man, you need to be a member. What? Ryoko may have indulged in some frights of fantasy, but she was content simply to look. Being part of some group that came here to obsess over the judge sounded like a total nuisance. I'll pass, thank you. I'm fine just looking at the guy by myself. The older woman fiercely narrowed their eyes. I heard that. You just referred to his honor as a guy. I do believe that's a violation of Article 2 of the agreement. The agreement has been violated. Punishment must be meted out. Ryoko recoiled as the older woman flew into an uproar. Look, ladies, your weird pack has nothing to do with me. How dare you! As the women stood glaring at each other, court staff and officials began filing into the courtroom. The judge was among them. Rather than cease their bickering, however, both sides elected to escalate. Be quiet, the judge called out angrily. I'll have you all thrown out. But none of the combatants could even hear him over the sound of their own voices. The groupies had launched into a rambling tirade about their way of life, the generation gap, their academic history, social standings, and stock indices. As a form of argument, it went far beyond unproductive. Ryoko had been pushed to her limits. How about we have him settle this matter for us, she shouted. The other woman abruptly fell silent, taken aback. This is a courtroom. Let's ask the judge to decide who's in the right. Ryoko rushed to the front of the visitors' gallery and called out to the judge. These women are being weird, right? Could I please have an official verdict? The other women were quick to fire back. This young lady is at fault for not knowing her place. We've done nothing wrong. Yo, what up, Jessica, Darmento, Skipper, Skip King, and Vibrant, Pug Easy Raid? How's it going? Welcome. The judge stared at them, his face suddenly a mask of stern deliberation. Ryoko and the others held their breaths. You're both in the wrong. The stern rebuke elected pearls of joy from Ryoko and the other women. More, say something else, please. Oh, please, deliberate some more. All of you behave. The judge's tone was even harsher now, but Ryoko and the others only shrieked more gleefully. I said behave. I'm doing good. What up, Pug Easy? How was your stream? And thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome. What were you guys streaming? The judge roared. He hurled the object he'd been carrying at the giddy group in the gallery. Bulky and heavy, it hurtled through the air. Ryoko and the others reached out their arms, each struggling to be the first to get her hands on it. Lunging forward at the last instant, Ryoko landed the catch. I'll be taking this, thanks! With a cry of triumph, she dashed out of the courtroom. As she exited the building, she could hear the older woman crying out in dismay behind her. She grinned gleefully, clutching her prize to her chest. It remains her proudest possession to this day. That judge's personal copy of the Compendium of Laws. Okay, cool. Giddy. Nice. Good to hear it went well. Playing Splatoon 2. Nice. Always a fun game. Welcome to 428 Shibuya Scramble. Everyone was crying earlier, so you guys missed the tears. You guys missed so many tears. There were so many tears. It was a ridiculous amount of tears. Not really ridiculous. It was completely understandable. Can we get more cats in chat? I'm just curious. Feel free to ask questions if you're all confused. True. Alright, so the taxi is driving past some writing. So I think it must be this point. But yeah, this game is 428 Shibuya Scramble. We're not really worrying about any of the story right now. Just know that there's definitely a lot of crazy things that happen in this game, and it's the best game of all time, in my opinion. And definitely a crazy, crazy game. Right now we're just learning about the minor characters because we did beat the game already. This is Minorikawa, who is the best. This guy is the absolute best. We're talking to Kiryu, who dropped a wooden cudgel because he was about to beat the shit out of us. Bye, Peggy Easy, take it easy, and thank you for the raid. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Talk to you later. Okay, so this is, it's moving, but I don't see any writing. I'm gonna wait a little bit though. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Should I wait here? I don't see any writing. No, okay, hold on. I see writing on a pole. I see writing on a pole. It's still moving, so, you know, I'm gonna give it some time. Let's give it some time. See what's going on. Maybe Mean Clean might show up. You never know. Never know. If that's the weird writing, though, that is very tough to see. That is incredibly tough to see if that is the writing. Still moving. I'm actually concerned now because I think that's what it's referring to. I think that post that's right next to the tree is what we're looking for. Also, is it just me or am I the only one like shoes on erasers? Like erasers. Pretty good. I'm gonna be so scared if that. Let's see. It's still moving. Yep, there it goes. There's a little blur. There's a little blur. That is, I can't believe that's the writing. The writing that it's referring to is that post right there. I don't even know what does that say. I don't know what it says. But here it comes. I cannot believe that this is the writing that this is referring to. It's a crazy stalker. True. Very true. Katone, I believe you're still really far behind, dude. I think you're probably skipping around now that I think about it. Just like, wait, that was ages ago. But I think you're just trying to catch up with everything that we were talking about, which makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so I already know what the next code is, but I'm going to let it continue moving, so that way for those who want to see what the code is can see it. I'll tell you right now, it is right B, right, BB, right. That seems to be a dick. Kinda. Well, okay, no. Not really. Yanagashita we already knew was a dick. Let's be real. We all knew that Yanagashita was a dick. Ozu and Sagawa, they're not dicks. They are definitely not dicks. I can say that much. Because, like, Sagawa made a promise to the grandmother. Yeah, he was a dick and tried to do, like, some pretty shady shit, but, you know. And then Miku's pretty chill. Chiaki! Yo, Chiaki! Underneath the dazzling, brightly lit sign was a staircase leading to the basement level entrance. I stood at the top of the steps. Maybe I should have turned this one down. No, I couldn't think like that. There was no way I could turn this down. I've been completely broke with no money and no other work in the offing when Mr. Mino gave me this chance. I've been tasked with a page of the monthly 4-star general gossip, and I wanted my work to live up to his expectations. I had to do it. But it all started several hours earlier. There's this new establishment that's popular with middle-aged There's this new establishment that's popular with middle-aged and older folks, Mr. Mino said. I'd like you to go there and get an interview. I was a bit startled by the request. It's popular with old guys. Is this place something risque? The core demographic for the gossip was older men. Their readership was often baited with lewd articles. But if the place in question was a porn shop or something similar, wouldn't it be better to send a man instead? No, Mr. Mino said. It's not what you're thinking. It's perfectly fine for women to go there. What sort of establishment is it then? Mr. Mino cleared his throat. From what I hear, they yell at you. Yell at you? Like you pay them to get mad at you on purpose? That's right. What for? That's what I'm saying you to go find out. I made an appointment for you, so get going already. Why would you send Chiaki? Why would you send Chiaki? Oh no! Oh, this is like the bar, like the one where like they put dunce caps on you and pour beer on you or something. Mr. Mino's barking kicked me into gear, and I found myself heading over to the place. With some trepidation, I made my way down the stairs. People got mad at me all the time when I was out at the job, so I couldn't understand why anyone would want to pay for the privilege of being chewed out. I opened the door at the end of the hall, and my ears were immediately treated to the sounds of women's voices snapping angrily. I told the young man working as the host that I was there for an interview, and he led me to a waiting room. There were female employees in there, glaring sharply at the waiting customers. Why are the people who work here so angry? I asked. Oh, that's a service we provide for free. The young host kept his voice low, but there was pride in his response. Every so often, one of the women would click her tongue in disapproval. Each time he heard it, the older man alongside her would sheepishly cast his eyes down. I hadn't the foggiest idea why he seemed so happy. I was scared, no, more like weirded out. Welcome back, Sparky. If I could have, I would have turned right around and left, but I needed the money, and more importantly, I owed it to Mr. Mino to get the material he wanted. Jack Iso, we're ready for you now, said the host. This way, please. Yes, of course. Thank you so much. My voice broke as I gave my reply. Awkwardly, I shuffled out in the waiting room. A woman on the sofa glared at me, shaking her head and tisking 3 times. The private room was maybe 50 square feet, the floor covered with tatami mats. We do hope you enjoy yourself. Please wait here, kneeling in the Caesar position. I did as I was told and got on my knees with my legs folded between my thighs. I worried that if I didn't, the host would be mad at me as well. As I waited nervously, I could hear voices coming from the room next door. An older man and woman were speaking with animation. Oh, bless you. Are you really sorry, you miserable little ingrate? Bless you, bless you. What the heck were they going on about? How could something like that be fun? You seem to be enjoying yourself. I looked up to see that a woman had come into a room while I was distracted. It's not every day a girl shows up here. Did I hear correctly you're here for an interview? Yeah. And do you know just what it means to be scolded? She was older than me and had the bearing of a private secretary. Now she loomed above me with a condescending glare. All I could do was peer back up at her, down there on my knees. Who told you were allowed to look up? Sorry. I quickly broke off my eye contact. Where are you looking? Look at a person in the eye when you're talking to them. First it was don't look, then it was look. This was absurd. I just wanted to get this over with as quickly as possible. Huddling in on myself, I focused on that hope. The woman let out a deep sigh of disapproval. Are you going to write an article about how you don't understand why people would go out of their way to be scolded? No, of course not. Don't lie to me, she belted out the words furiously. Well, go on, am I wrong? What are you going to do? Answer me. Heap! I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to go home. Plus my butt was getting all sweaty from sitting in Caesar. Sitting in Caesar salad. Look at how weak and subservient you are. You've lived your whole life just running away from your responsibilities. That's why you deserve it, chewing out like this. I felt like she hit me right in the very core. She zeroed right in on all the internal issues I've been harboring. The fact was, she was right. I've been a wishy-washy mess my entire life. Back in elementary school, when my gym teacher told me he wasn't going to let me go home until I was able to do a pull-up, I just clung to the metal bar and stared blankly out in the sunset. I cannot do a pull-up to save my life. I've never been able to do a pull-up, even when I was actually fit. Web Civil, how's it going? And with that, Civil, you have been put in timeout. Congratulations. When I was taking high school entrance exams, there was one time when my train was running late for the test for the school I most wanted to attend, and I just gave up and went home. I was the same now too. When I was broke and hungry, instead of trying to get to work, I just lie in bed and stare at the wall. I was hopeless. A hopeless excuse for a human being. No, that was going on too easy on myself. I was a no good, worthless, hopeless excuse for a human being. Before I knew it, tears were streaming down my cheeks. What's all this? You think it's okay to cry? People like you are the reason men get all worked up about women using tears as a weapon. Apologize on behalf of women everywhere, right now. I'm sorry. My voice was choked by tears and ragged with raw emotion. Say it louder. Say it like you mean it. I'm sorry. And that's when I noticed. A group of people had gathered by the doorway. The host had shown me around, the woman who worked there, and even some other customers were all watching. I looked up and they broke into applause. Huh? I blurted, bewildered. Amazing. You really know how to take a scolding. What? I had no idea what was going on. Everyone just kept on clapping. Don't look away like that. No flatter yourself just because you're getting applause. Yes, ma'am. My audience let out a collective cry of awe at my mewling squeak. But the woman, seemingly unsatisfied, proceeded to scold me all the more harshly. In the end, I wound up getting chewed out for twice as long as would be usual. The club was kind enough to set that up for me. Really, though, all I wanted was to get out of there and go home as soon as possible. Chucky, you're late. Jackie, you're late. What have you been doing? As I came stumbling out of the club, I nearly ran into Mr. Mino, waiting for me by the entrance. Evidently, he'd come to get me when I didn't make it back at the appointed time. I apologized for not calling him and explained the situation. Thankfully, he believed me. So then, how did the interview go? It went great. I got a ton of applause. And so began another harsh chewing out, as Mr. Mino demanded that I explain just what the hell kind of interview I'd been doing. Good job, Jackie. Good job. Good job. Alright, next one is Minorikawa, 12 o'clock. Flagging down the knick-knack shop guy. So it should be this, right? I think it's this one. Cameras all over the place. Man riding on the bicycle. Yeah. That'd be his top priority, but I'd have to find another way. This is not the right scene. I have to look for the knick-knack shop guy. Which I think this is probably his story. I think we're about to learn more about knick-knack shop dude. So many of these cameras. Oh my goodness. There. Hey, you, stop! There he is. The screen's not moving. Massive blimp was indeed drifting. I have to wait for the screen to move, though. That's a thing. You know what? It might actually just be this. It might actually just be this scene. That's what I'm thinking it could be. It could just be this, where Minorikawa is just looking high as fuck. I'm watching the screen move, so if it stops, then I know I'm in the wrong place. Oh, you know what? Hold on. True, Katana H. Very true. Wrapping up writing. Street interviews. There's that guy. I guess there's more going on here. There's gotta be more. Because that just stopped. But he's flagging down the knick-knack shop guy. That's what I have written down. Is when he's flagging down the knick-knack shop owner. Yeah, it's 1200. The screen's not moving though. Or is it ever so slowly? Nope, it's not moving. And the blimp is super important. So cameras have been solved through there, taking anything and everything. Privacy be damned. Easily, guess I should be careful next time. Okay, this could be it. This might be it. We're not really flagging him down. He's still on his bike. I guess it could work. The skill of taking insults. I mean, she knows how to write. We know this. We know that she knows how to write. That's a key thing. Is it still moving? I think it stopped. Yeah, it stopped. Minorikawa, that brilliant face as always. This is the knick-knack shop owner. I know this is the knick-knack shop owner. Dude's a little cross-eyed. That's okay. We're still being pointed at. Good old Minorikawa with all of his pointing, right? Yo, the fight. I forgot there's this fight going on because he's interviewing. That's how Minorikawa rolls. That's how he rolls. More pointing. This is the journalistic arrogance. The man railed. They're just going back and forth. This is going back and forth. Pretty much, they're pretty true. Still standing there. Is anything moving? No, nothing's moving. Buddy, you're a weirdo. That's not the right one? What? Okay, hold on. Wrapping up writing. Because it could be the street interviews, right? This is not the point though where they witness things. Jockey is hiding. The kinder partners are there. And she's crying. I don't know. King Cheese, you have this written down too, right? Knick-knack chop flagging? I have it written down as Minorikawa. Try to flag down a Westerner. But she got it. Oh, that's I know that one. Yeah, I'm in 1200. So it's definitely right here. It's definitely right here. Maybe I just have to stand still and then something else happens? I might have to look this up. I might have to look up like where specifically this is supposed to be. Because here's the thing. Because it says flagging down, so it has to be this. Like, it has to be, like, either this screen or the next one. You know what? I'm going to try to figure this. I feel like I'm on the right path, but I think I'm going to need to look this up. Because none of the screens are moving. None of the screens are moving at all. And that's what's weird to me. Hold on, I'm checking the screens. Wait, what? Oh, okay, I see what scene it's talking about. Okay, hold on. I know what scene it is. Okay, I know what it is. The thing is, I have to manually go here. That's weird. It didn't look like it was moving, but it was. That's so weird. If it's a scene I think it is, I don't think... Was the screen moving? Yeah, I have to play this whole part and be like, oh my gosh, I have to go find every single one. So it's not this scene. Meow meow. I mean, we have 5 left, so. Gosh, are we already 2 hours in? I thought we were gonna be like an hour or so, but nope. Just skipping through. Somebody like messaging me right now, and I'm just like, all right, well, at least as a passing. Well, I'm spamming the A button because it's been a while when I talked to that person. I'm like, yeah, I'm streaming, but sometimes we can just double check. This is taking it back. Thank you for cooperation. This one. This is the screen. It is moving. Oh my gosh, there's a dog barking too. It's moving. This is the slowest moving screen I've ever seen. This screen is moving so slowly. This is the only other scene that looks like it does this. So I'm gonna grab some water real quick. Enjoy the barking in the background. Look at how fucking slow that's moving. Jesus Christ. It's not on screen yet. Oh, there's barking going on downstairs though. Is it on screen yet? Seriously, it's still moving. This is the slowest freaking moving thing I've ever seen. At least it's pretty quick as to like what it is, but there, I like how I'm like, this can't be the scene because it wasn't moving. And totally was moving. Alright. Well, we see what it is, right? Oh, I'm going to wait a little bit longer so that way for those who want to see it on screen, they can see it. It's kind of there, true. It's right B, right B, right. It's got to be the knick-knack shop owner. That's who we're going to learn about, right? Yep, Taisi Yasuda. The sound of fingers clacking across a keyboard echoed in the dimly lit room. As soon as he gotten back to his apartment after his shift at the secondhand shop, Yasuda had gone straight into his computer. Ever since he started his blog, his day didn't feel complete until he made an update. And there we go. There we go. Taking a deep breath, Yasuda read back over what he'd just written. It's called mixed martial arts for a reason. It's more than just punching. If your strikes aren't working out, you go for a takedown or something instead. I shared my observations here on my blog, and then the week after, he managed to get his first win in a while. I'm positive that he saw my post. So come on, Funayama? If you're lost in the darkness, just lend me your ear. I'll let you know what to do. Not a good one today. Feeling pleased, Yasuda clicked the post button. The floor of Yasuda's 100 square foot apartment with a kitchenette was littered with mounds of martial arts magazines, so many that there was hardly any room to walk. His tiny LCD TV was set to a martial arts cable network. The TV ran 24 hours a day, and he saved the footage to a hard disk recorder. And of course, once a week, he would go out to see a fight, and then post about it on his blog. His most recent post was typical of his combative tone. He knew that he came off as a little harsh, but his criticism was driven by his love for the sport. His confident online pronouncements did lead to an intense backlash from time to time, however. A few days after a scathing critique of Funayama, for example, Yasuda received a rare response on his blog. The respondent's username was Passerby. Oops. That's how he took his opponent toward the end of the match, right? Ugh, seriously? What match were you even watching? Where the hell do you get off offering pointers like that? Yasuda's blood boiled as he read the comment. Where the hell did this person get off? His fingers darted to the keyboard. Huh? First off, who the hell are you? The attack was clearly just him trying not to look like he'd been taken down. You think that was deliberately set up? Pfft, don't make me laugh. STFU, noob. That's been a while since I've said that before. Funiyama has had a pretty comprehensive career. If he has enough humility to hear me out, I'm sure he'll be able to win. Don't you want him to have a bright, bold future? If not, then you can just GTFO. I'm not going to delete your comment because I want other people to be able to see how wrong you are. Satisfied that he'd set the record straight, Yasuda went to bed. But the next morning, when he checked his blog before going to work, he noticed immediately that something was unusual. The thread had gotten over 300 replies. Wow, someone is sure full of himself. Quit talking like you know more than you do. Maybe you should try stepping into the ring yourself if you're such an expert. Look at me, I can teach some dumbass what I know. People are having a field day. A few of them had come to Yasuda's defense, but they had been dismissed as sock puppet accounts. He snarled as he stared at the monitor, too preoccupied to even think of heading to the shop. Should he close the thread? Should he maybe close the whole blog instead? He leaned back and stared at the ceiling, thinking hard. He could only come to one conclusion. I'm not running from this. I'll take on any challengers, anytime, anywhere. Slapping himself on both cheeks, Yasuda started typing on a new post. You guys don't understand anything. Mixed martial arts, as the name implies, involves a mixture of different fighting styles. Karate, judo, wrestling, boxing. You name it, I've done it. I watch these fights on a different level than the rest of you. So STFU noobs, I'm gonna school you. In reality, not only did Yasuda not have no martial arts experience, he had barely participated in any sports in his entire life. Yo, he's dead. Rest in peace, Yasuda. Can we get an F in chat for Yasuda, please? Thank you. The only place he was a martial artist was inside his own head. His new post generated even more comments than before. 20 comments was usually a good day. This time, he'd easily blown past 3,000. Sweat beaded on Yasuda's forehead. It wasn't out of any apprehension, though. His fighting spirit had been ignited. Yasuda! 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 Krusty Krabs? Close enough. An imaginary crowd chanted his name in his mind. I'm being tested right now. Tested on my love of the martial arts. That's it. I'm not opening the shop today. This is more important than work. He whipped off his shirt, leaving himself half naked. Well, damn. No worries, Civil. I'm just really think about what you say. Really think about what you say. He smacked himself in the cheeks repeatedly with his own palms and turned to face the mirror. You're strong. You're a champion. Kick some ass. You're an ass kicker. You can do it. Ah, what up, Supernova? Pumped up by his pep talk, he let out a high-pitched battle cry. That's his battle cry. Yasuda charged over to the keyboard. Feeling ferocious, he started to type. The words rushed out like a wild torrent. Come on, man, he shouted. He kept himself psyched up. Shut the hell up, Mr. Yasuda, shouted his neighbor. Shut the hell up, Mr. Yasuda, shouted his neighbor, an Indian exchange student named Mohinder, from the other side of the apartment wall. Yasuda ignored him. After he fired off his post, the internet was quick to respond. When it did, Yasuda fired back again. It was like a fight that had turned to a hellbent brawl with no concern for defense. Hey, can anyone search this guy's earlier blog post and find out where he is? I'm pretty sure he said where he works. Now the Cybermon was picking through the details Yasuda had posted, trying to pinpoint where he lived. Ordinarily, he would have been trembling with fear right now, but he refused to back down. Well, if you're gonna come at me, come at me. I'll take you on anytime you want. I'll show you how to pull off an actual tackle. My only worry is accidentally killing someone. Before you fight me, you have to sign a waiver absolving me of any liability if you die. If you're still good with that, then bring it on. After posting his defiance, though, he felt a sudden twinge of worry. What if someone really did challenge him? What would he do? No worries, Civil. Just deep breaths. You said one thing. I timed you out for it. You learned your lesson. You move on from it. That's all you gotta do. All you gotta do. He didn't really know how to perform a tackle, even throw a punch, really. Still, now it was no time to hesitate. He'd deal with any challenge when it came, but taking it properly to the police. Several months went by, and the flood of heated comments on Yasuda's blog continued. People had managed to track down his address and had learned his real name, but nobody had come to challenge him yet. In all likelihood, Yasuda's commenters were just like him, martial artists in their own minds only. That being the case, he decided he could go after them for all he was worth. Whoa, hey now, are the lot of us who come to his blog really all talk and no action? Come on, I say to take on anyone at any time. Uh-oh. Yasuda, you went too far. If you got beat with me, come to the statue of Ichiko in Shibuya tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Hell, I'll even pay for your travel. You need the money for the medical expenses when I'm done with you. Hey, Yasuda, it's 10 o'clock. Where the hell are you? I'm here. I'm a boxer with 5 years of training experience. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 7 years and I'm here. Don't see no Yasuda, though. Did Yasuda rush out and run? Let's go where he works. Don't be idiots. It didn't run off. I was just in the bathroom for a bit because my stomach was acting up. I'm by Ichiko now. How come no one's here? Don't lie, Yasuda. You're the one who's not here. I said I'm here. Where the hell are you? And to this day, the battle of imaginary martial artists versus imaginary martial artists rages on, each competitor still safely enclosed at home. The blog still gets over 1,000 hits a day. Good job, Yasuda. Good job, Yasuda. I'm proud of him. Alright. Next one. It's another 1200 block. It is Kidnapper Chase. What? Wait, which kidnapper chase? What? Hold on. This is the entirety of it. I mean, true, but like... Being Stanley. Do we have to go through the entirety of this to figure out which one? It says he's chasing a kidnapper. So we need to see... You would at this point? I'll read up a description. How about that? I don't want to see the scene, so let me just read up a description. Alright, let's see. Go here. Okay, hold on. I'm scrolling down. Oh, okay. Kidnapper is the key here. Kidnapper is the key. No, kidnapper, where the loan sharks kidnap the kid. That's what it is. The scene's not moving. That makes more sense. I just read the top and I was like, oh yeah, this is the point where Hana gets grabbed. I think this is the scene. This has to be the scene. Right? I think this has to be the scene. I don't see any other scene that it could be. Alright. Yeah, this is definitely the scene. Yep, there it is. Okay, cool. Alright, so we got right, B, right. Are we gonna learn more about Toyama? Maybe we're learning about Toyama or Hana. Who knows? Who knows? Hana, yay! Perhaps growing up means having to give up some things. It's no fun playing with you, Hana. Go home. She'd probably never be able to forget those words, even when she had grown to an adulthood. Hana Toyama loved playing hide and seek. None of her friends could find her when she was hiding, and on the rare occasion when she wasn't, she found everyone surprisingly fast. When it came to hide and seek, Hana was the best of the best. One might say that she had an exceptional talent. In time, however, that talent turned into resentment. Her outstanding knack for the game made hide and seek pretty boring. Nobody could find her when she was hiding, and nobody stood a chance of hiding from her when she was it. And how could that possibly be fun for anybody? It's no fun playing with you, Hana. Go home. Anyone whose best friend said something like that would feel pretty wounded. How about I go easy on you then? Hana said to her pal Rinko. I don't want anyone to go easy. We'll have more fun if you're gone, so just go home. After that, Hana didn't play with her friends anymore. If she could bear up alone, she thought the rest of them would enjoy themselves more. And besides, she never wanted to hear anyone tell her to go home again. Her father never made it back from work until late in the night. This left Hana to spend long afternoons and evenings by herself at home. Around this time when she started writing poetry to help fill in the time. But as for higher hide and seek aspirations, those took a sharp turn one day at lunchtime. Oh man, the kid who just transferred into the class next door is amazing. Shigo, one of the more excitable boys in Hana's class, was pressed up close to the classroom window. Man, look at how awesome his reflexes are. It pointed out at the schoolyard. The boys from the class next door were playing dodgeball. One of the teams was down just a single player. Oh wow, the new kid's the last one left. The opposing team was doing its best to pelt the new student with rubber balls. He managed to avoid them all with nimble ease. Shigo wasn't the only one held captive by the new kid's performance. Soon, a whole flock of school children had crowded up to the window. Caught up in the flow of the crowd, Hana found herself standing by the windowsill. I hear he was a hide-and-seek champion back at his old school, Shigo said. Hana perked up. They say he can find anyone in under 5 minutes. The classroom let out a collective wow of astonishment. Getting in under the 5-minute mark was pretty impressive. For Hana to get a similar time, she knew she needed to go all out. I hear he's going to make himself a hide-and-seek legend here at our school too, Shigo chirped. No, he can't, Hana shouted before she could think better of herself. The classroom fell silent at her abrupt outburst. He can't be hide-and-seek champion. Hana could be stubborn in her own way. She wasn't going to let someone else win the title of hide-and-seek champ if she wasn't part of the games. But Hana couldn't ask to play hide-and-seek with the other kids anymore. Putting her foot down now wasn't going to do any good. Maybe you want to let him know that then, Hana? This time it was none other than Riko who had spoken. Let's play hide-and-seek again. We can invite the new kid to play. Hana could hardly have asked for a better suggestion. Alright, I'll go up against the new kid. Hana's eyes gleamed with an almost feral determination. The competitive spirit that she locked away had escaped into the open. And if I win, we'll know who the real hide-and-seek champion is. What's this kid's name? Ooh, go Taro! That was amazing, Taro! It was Shigo, face pressed against the window, calling out unthinkingly. Taro. Several days later, the children assembled at the park after school. Hana and Taro, along with Shigo and Riko, stood in a circle. I've heard about you, Taro said with a challenging sneer. Hana, huh? Pfft, what a dumb name. That's rich coming from someone named Taro, Hana shot back. Let's do this fair and square, guys, Riko said, keeping her tone nice and reasonable. Shigo could hardly contain his excitement. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. The rules were simple. When Riko or Shigo were it, whoever was able to stay hidden longer, Hana or Taro, would win a point. If either Hana or Taro were it, the other would win a point if they managed to be the last player found. Taro snickered. Try not to cry when I win, okay? You might want to start thinking of excuses for when you lose, Hana replied. The four used rock, paper, scissors to decide who would be it. It was a long series of ties. Each time, Shigo would blurt out, oh wow. Hana was just about to suggest that they split into two groups of two when the stalemate broke. Oh wow! Shigo alone had thrown something different, and so he was it. It was time for the first round. Hana employed as a hiding while moving tactic, skillfully shifting position to stay in Shigo's blind spots. She didn't sense Taro anywhere nearby. While she stayed hidden, wondering just where he could be, a rock came hurtling through the bushes right in front of her. Hearing the rustling sound, Shigo came running in Hana's direction. Oh wow, I found you, Hana! Ah! Shigo's voice broke into a falsetto as he shouted. Wait, did Taro do that? Hana huffed to herself, still vexed by the rock. Hide-and-seek became a much more complex affair after a player had mastered a few tricks. Hana's hiding while moving technique was one of them. Another such trick was to throw a rock far from yourself in order to draw the seeker's attention away. Taro must have done that, and the side effect was that Hana had gotten caught. Hana could tell that she wasn't going to be able to coast through the competition. If she let her guard down, she'd wind up losing. She had to change her approach. Victory would be hers. She was not going to give up her spot as the school's hide-and-seek champion. A new fire burned in her eyes. It was time for the second round. Once again, Shigo wound up it after losing rock, paper, scissors. Things were quite different than they'd been in the first round. Right in front of the outset, Hana and Taro resorted to rock throwing. Shigo was easily misdirected by the sound of stones landing here and there. Come on, guys, this is dangerous, Riko exclaimed, standing up from the grass after a rock whizzed by her, and winding up for the first to get caught. Soon afterwards, a clumsy misstep on Taro's part settled the round. He was about to throw another rock when he accidentally stepped on a dry stick with a loud crack. Found you, Taro! Bahoo! Now it was 1-1. After that, the competition became a steady back and forth between the two. With each new round, the winner and loser kept switching off, with no clear victor emerging. Shigo and Riko were starting to get fed up with things, and so it was decided that the next round would be a winner-take-all to settle the match. No way am I going to lose, Hana vowed inwardly. One final round. Taro was it. Taro closed his eyes and began counting. 1, 2, 3. They were scattered at once. Hana quickly hid herself in the bed of a truck parked along the road that bounded one edge of the park. 8, 9, 10. Taro finished counting and stood up. Just then, the truck's engine revved up. Huh? The truck took off with Hana still aboard. Continued in Toriyama's episode. Oh my gosh, she went into a truck and just gets... Oh god, that's bad. Welp, that just happened. That totally just happened. Okay. Poor Hana. Also, are we gonna figure this out? Are we gonna figure out something? Because the next one is Bloody Tama. And if I recall, for Bloody Tama, just what to do with the cat suit. Time I skin the cat. See, I don't think that's Teteno, because why is the cat bleeding from its mouth? I swear that's not Teteno. It can't be Teteno. That's so creepy. That's so creepy. Oh, it is Teteno. But why is Teteno bloody? Because he's shuffling one leg. I think this might be it. What? That can't be Teteno. That really cannot be Teteno. Because Teteno, we also knew, is scared to shoot a gun. He would not kill anybody. Teteno absolutely would not kill anybody. We know this. Also, this is definitely the scene. Gonna go, bye, Gem C, take it easy. I'll see you around. Laters. This has to be the scene. Or not. I think it stopped. I'm keeping an eye on the circle to see if it reaches the D. It is not. This is not the C. Is this it? This could be it. This is moving. King Cheese, I can't be the only one that thinks this. That cannot be Teteno. That cannot be Teteno. Like, I am almost positive that cannot be Teteno. Because I think it's the assassin, but look it. I'm guessing this is it. It's moving around. Something was moving. Hold on. They didn't, apparently. Oh, it was the right one. I wasn't the right one. I just didn't wait. I wasn't patient. I wasn't patient. Oh, never mind. I didn't realize that the screen was moving. Because I was waiting for blood. I wasn't waiting for something else. I see what the scene is. So we know like the right places. We just don't know which specific scene. So, I don't mind. It's this scene. Apparently this scene's moving. Oh, it's another super slow one. Gosh, I hate the super slow ones. It's crazy. There it is. Wow, okay, that's not nearly as like long. Hey, Cheese Lord, how's it going? Welcome. We got this one and two more, and then we're gonna be ending the stream, and then we'll be doing Dead by Daylight a little bit later, I should mention. So, other cheese. I will say though, today's been a weird day. Today's been a good day. Today's also been super fucking weird. B, right B. So it's right B, right B. But we're waiting because my face cam is blocking right down there. So, he's back. Welcome back, Sparky. So this is not Toteno. This definitely is not Toteno. So we got Toyama left. So who else do we have left? True. That'd be great. Who else would be? Who else is left? We're missing 3 characters. One's Toyama. We know one's Toyama. Who else are we missing? Alphard? Maybe? Could be Alphard. Definitely could be Alphard. Alright. Maybe Mr. Clean. Or Mean Clean. Not Mr. Clean, but Mean Clean. So this has to be Toyama. No! Oh, it's the store owner guy that has the bad luck of cleaning all the time. Taku Okado. I see you almost every day, it feels like. I wonder if you're aware of that. No, I'm certain you haven't noticed me. You're probably no more aware of me than you are of a stone on the side of the road. But I can't just sit here and say nothing. Not any longer. Please go out with me. I'm very serious. Please give me your response. Your secret admirer. As he finished up his love letter, Taku Okado let out a deep breath. After hours of racking his brain, he succeeded in spewing his honest feelings onto the page. The letter might have made him come off as something of a stalker, but hey, that was part of the charm. The important thing was that she knew how strong his feelings were. Okada worked at a convenience store close to Shibuya Station. A month prior, he happened to meet a young woman out in front of the shop, and he'd fallen for her at first sight. She didn't have the bearing of an office worker. She must have been a college student, he decided. After the first encounter, she came by nearly every day at 12:15 p.m. to buy lunch. A raisin sandwich and a coffee milk. That was her usual. On the rare occasion that she bought strawberry milk instead, Okada would worry that something bad might have happened. But beside their regular meetings across the counter, the yearning looks he always gave her, theirs had remained the relationship of employee and customer. Resolved to change that, Okada had decided to pen the love letter. He needed to become a man before his 23rd birthday. Now the issue was timing. When should he hand over the letter? Should he give it to her when she came to the register to pay? No, that was too risky. If the manager spotted him, he'd be in a world of trouble. Should he go after her once she'd left the shop then? No, that was a no-go too. If he left the register unmanned, he could wind up getting fired for it. What was the right move then? As he pulled out his hair, trying to think of something, he was hit with a flash of inspiration. When he was bagging her items, he could slip the letter in along with them. That way, it wouldn't draw unwanted attention from the manager or the other customers. He did a little dance there in his room, rather pleased with his idea, and soon enough, the time came for him to put his plan into action. Okada had been acting nonchalant all through his morning shift. He greeted customers in a more lively tone than usual. There was even a legitimate note of appreciation when he told them thank you after they were done shopping. And then she came into the shop. The place was bustling with customers who'd come in to buy lunch. The young woman arrived right on schedule. With raisin sandwich and coffee milk in hand, she walked over to the register counter. It was only then that Okada realized the flaw in his plan. The shop had 2 registers. There's only a 50-50 chance that she'd queue up at his. This one. Come to this line. Okada tried to guide her with his thoughts, but the young woman got in the line for the other register. Ah, well, it's not much, but I guess I'll grab one of these triangle packs of milk. A man in a trench coat picked up one of the small beverage packages and approached Okada's register. Maybe I should give up for today and try again tomorrow. But no sooner had the thought come than another voice welled up within him. Why do you always give up so easily? Are you going to be satisfied just gazing at her from afar forever? Don't you want to change your life? Isn't that why you wrote that love letter in the first place? The fires of determination blazed forth in Okado's eyes. Whoops, I tripped, he blurted a bit too obviously, bumping into the cashier next to him. The pack sent the money inside the register, scattering across the floor. His coworker grumbled in irritation as he bent down to start picking up coins. His ruse had been a success. Pardon me, Okada called out. Next customer in line, please. The young woman switched over to the line for his register. The plan was back on track. The man in trench coat stepped up to the counter. Okada was a mask of calm as he scanned the barcode for the customer's milk. By the way, I have one question, the man said. That'll be 105 yen. The young woman is in line right behind this guy. Same as always, she didn't look Okado's way. You guys still sell strawberry milk here? Okada took the man's money. Exact change, I see. He looked over and saw that the young woman had her usual raisin sandwich and coffee milk in hand. Used to be a huge fan of that stuff, you see. Thank you very much, sir. Next customer? Soon she would be right in front of him. The bag with the love letter inside had already been prepared, then underneath the counter. All he had to do was slip the raisin sandwich and coffee milk inside it, and it would be mission accomplished. Your total comes out to 284 yen, Okada said with a slight lilt. The young woman flashed a faint smile. She pulled a 1,000-yen bill from her wallet. All right, this was it. Okada went to grab the bag with the love letter inside. Oh, that's all right, the young woman said. I don't need a bag. What? Okada stammered like a complete imbecile. But without a bag, your stuff. The woman then slung a bag of her own from her arm. It was a reusable, eco-friendly shopping bag. A reusable bag, but how come all of a sudden you... Okada stammered. The woman smiled brightly. I care an awful lot about the environment. She placed the items she purchased into the bag, then briskly departed from the shop. Okada crumpled the love letter in his hand and let out a brain-deary sigh. He just completely ignored the dude in the trench coat, by the way. Also, I know the last two people. It's probably Toriyama, and I think it's Ayakamiki. I'm pretty sure it's Ayakamiki. What up, honey? I'm guessing it's Aya. Because we keep hearing about Aya the entire game. Right? Osawa 1400. Ooh, an Osawa one. Virus spreads through Shibuya. Shoot, how do I get to that one before? Hold on, I don't remember how to get to... Oh yeah, I remember. Because Kano has to tell... Hitomi's the right answer, right? Hold on. I want to be sure. Hitomi's the right answer, right? Yeah. It's the virus. Guilty conscience. I'm not sure I understand the question. I know what the syndicate is really after, Mr. Osawa. Blank. I think it's this scene. It must be this scene. It's either this scene or the scene after with the bomb. Because it's that he feels so guilty with the virus. I wouldn't be surprised if it is this scene, though. I'm waiting for this to stop moving. But I'm pretty confident that it's this one. Because all I have written down is Osawa 1400, virus spreads through Shibuya. So... Still moving. Maybe not. It stopped moving. Never mind. So it's not this one. It's got to be the next one. Do not look away. These are your crimes. Still with those emails. They were a preview of the tragedy that was yet to unfold. Mr. Osawa. Everyone's looking at him. A killer virus is about to be unleashed in Tokyo. And I know who's responsible. It's me. Send confession. Please arrest me. Need to know. Yep, it's this scene. It's gotta be this scene. It's gotta be this scene. This is gonna be the fastest time this shows up. This has gotta be the fastest time this has shown up. Because it's all the dead bodies. Because he's like, shoot, I killed everybody with the virus. And then right after this guy, probably. Look at that designer handbag. Everyone's got these designer handbags out. Looking really chill. Yep, there's Mr. Clean. Or Mean Clean, sorry. What? There we go. I don't know why it took so long. Masai Take. Oh, never mind. Ni hao, welcome to Imabiki Chinese restaurant. I'm Masai Taiki. I work here. Oh, what's that? You think that's a strange name? Yeah, I guess you're right. It is a weird name. Imabiki Chinese restaurant. So it's kind of a long story, but there was this video called Imabikiso. It involves a mysterious drug called Vision that causes you to be cursed by a woman in black when you take it. And okay, yeah, it's a long story. I'll quit while I'm ahead. Anyway, the point is that there was this game called Imabikiso, and this restaurant opened to commemorate its release. Yeah, it's the girl from the buffet that was being really, really creepy. A lot of the menu items tie in with the game, so let me introduce you to the mysterious charms of the Imabiki Chinese restaurant. Here, I have a cup of oolong tea. You can sip on that while you listen. The food here is cooked using a closely guarded 4,000-year-old Chinese technique known as huaqiao, charring method. China is said to be home of 8 great regional cuisines, and so the menu is divided into 8 broad sections, but each of these is cooked using the huaqiao method to bring out unique and striking tastes. You want to know more about the huaqiao method? Okay, I shall tell you part of the ancient secret. So you know how if you burn something just right, you get this nice tasty crunch? But if you burn it even a tiny bit too much, it becomes a nasty, inedible mess. And so then you've screwed up, and sadly you just have to toss the food away. The huaqiao method isn't like that. It involves charring the ingredients through until they're pitch black. Am I saying this right? I kind of want to know if I'm saying this right. I've never spoke Chinese before in my life. I've never... Scan. Oh, might be.
Huge owl.
Yeah, hey, huge owl. What up, Juniper? Welcome back. Huge owl. Yeah, I was right. I was correct. Look at that. It involves charring the ingredients through until they're pitch black. Huh? Why are you giving me that look? You don't think food like that could possibly be edible? Well, just hear me out until the end, alright? The offerings on our menu are things most everyone should be familiar with. Sweet and sour pork, pot stickers, shumai, green pepper steak, stir-fry shrimp and chili sauce, Peking duck. All pretty typical examples of Chinese food, right? But here at Imabiki Chinese restaurant, we char all of these dishes until they're truly full of flavor. You can even choose whether you want your charring done rare, medium, or well done. Well done makes the food look like a burnt lump of charcoal, but provides an exceptional texture and aroma. Try it once and you'll be hooked. I bet you'll want to swing by our restaurant every day. The secret to making everything so delicious are the herbs we use, which are an essential part of the huaqiao method. These herbs are extremely rare. People who taste them say it's like they've been transported to another world. What herbs are these, you may ask? That's a trade secret, I'm afraid. Oh, I can't wait for you to try some. Once you've had them, I'm sure you'll never forget. We have a lot of regular customers, and a lot of students from nearby universities come here as well. Oh, and what perfect timing. Here's one of our regulars now, Hiroki Makamura. Dots. Oh, don't be like that, Hiroki. Say something. Ever since eating here, everything I've eaten or drink has this bitter taste. See, what did I tell you? Eating here gets you hooked. And it just isn't just bitter flavors. Lately, I can see everything. What was that? The woman in black. I can see her. Well, let's let him finish mumbling as he finds his way to his seat. Hiroki's looking a bit unwell today. Look, here's another one of our regulars now. That is Masato Watanabe. Mind sharing a word or two with us, Masato? Rather than obtain sublime pleasure, the woman in black will burn you to your very bones. Well, I'm not sure what all that means. We're going to die. You, me, charred, twisted bodies. Never mind these eccentricities. Since the food here is themed around a horror game, the customers tend to get into the spirit of things, that's all. Anyway, don't look so nervous. Let me show you to your seat. What? You look like you have something you want to say. You think I'm hiding something? Dots. I'm surprised. I didn't think you noticed. That's alright, though. I'll tell you everything I've been keeping from you. Like I said, make sure to hear me out until the very end. And then you'll be cursed. Cursed just like Hiroki and Masato. I'm just messing with you. Did I spook you? There's no need to worry. Of course you're not going to get cursed. Because you see, you already are. Don't you remember? That oolong tea you drank. It was steeped with those special herbs I mentioned. I suppose now I can tell you what it's called. What you drank is the tea of Imabikiso, the searing herbs of hatred. Hee hee. You can hear a voice, can't you? A woman's voice, dry and raspy. Go on, sit down. Here's your seat. You're never going to escape, so you may as well accept it now. Now then, let's start over. Welcome to Umabiki Chinese Restaurant. And with that, we know that Chiaki's dead. Yeah, I was about to say, or sorry, Chiriko, sorry. It's not Chiaki, Chiriko. Chiri's dead. we have now learned that Chiri is dead. Well, damn. Alright, we got one more. Yeah. Poor Chiri. Chiri's cursed with all eternity. She probably doesn't even care. When you say to be, yeah, because you went to another floor. What do you mean? Hold on. Yashida. No. It's caught up with the Yakuza. Yeah. Meow 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 meow. I think I can handle myself from here. Thought back to what Toby said earlier. So it's right before a punch. Is this last one? Achi 1400 debt collector punch right before it. I don't know if this is a bad ending or not, though. So there's these two. Right before a punch. Yeah, he likes saying damn it a lot, true. Look at Achi's face. Achi's stern. No, wait, this is the correct way to go. Hold on, are you Achiendo? Ain't that lucky getting to throw down with you like this? All sorts of rumors about you. Had to go for broke. So it's right before the punch, it says. Apparently not. That was right before the debt collector punch. What the heck? Oh. Oh. Really? Never mind. I'm glad I looked this one up. I had to look this one up. Otherwise, we would have been here for another 2 hours, I tell you. I forgot this is a bad ending. I was right. This was a bad ending. Because this is also where the debt collectors show up. Because I forgot, like, the debt collectors are kind of, like, going around, like, and such. It's apparently this one. This is the scene. Wow, this is moving super slow. But this is the correct scene, and this is the last one. And then we'll be done. And then we got a little bit... Wow, that was... Okay, never mind, that was super quick. It was super quick, it's already showing up. Alright, so this is Toyama. This has to be Toyama's story. So before we go into this story, I will say next stream will be happening in about 55 minutes or so. We're going to be playing Dead by Daylight from like 11 to who knows how long. So just go from there. But I just want to let you guys know. What up, Baba? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Why the sigh, Baba? Why is a Baba sighing? Baba stressed with homework? Biba. Biba, babooba, a baba. A biba, baba, baba, booba, biba, booba, baba. Why demonic water bottle? Mr. Clean? Mr. Mean Clean? I keep calling him Mr. Clean. Mean Clean? I mean, that's what's on Archie's shirt. It's Mean Clean, man. Whatever I have. Bob, are you okay? You feeling sick, dude? A booba. Yes. What? There we go. I typed it in so many times. I don't know why I didn't see it. Taro Toyama. A man who survives on the battlefield that is journalism. The story takes place right after the founding of Heaven Publishing. In a certain high-class residential neighborhood in Tokyo, Toyama hid in the shadow of a telephone pole and an infrared camera in his hand. Infrared camera in his hand. I hope you feel better, Baba. Please take care of yourself. He eyed the entrance of the upscale Japanese restaurant across the street through the viewfinder. Oh, I'm so sleepy. How many days had it been now? How much time and money had he spent in getting this far? And how little did he have to show for it? He felt a bit of emptiness and despondency open up inside him, but he couldn't give it up now. This was the one good lead he had to go on. Chama had been closing in on a big scoop. There were persistent rumors about a member of the reigning political party involved somehow with the head of the Shiramini Minigumi Yakuza syndicate. If the stories turned out to be true, it could lead to a major upheaval in the government. A party that had held power for quite some time would probably fall from grace in dramatic fashion. The public wouldn't stand idly by. If it became well known that people in the government were in the bed of the Yakuza, there would be a national uproar with international repercussions. Japan's reputation on the world stage might well be mud overnight. A scandal like that probably wasn't in the country's best interest, but the alternative was surely worse. The infection needed to be located quickly and then exorcised. And the only one who can expose that infection is me. Toyama's smoldering sense of purpose blazed up once again, but his target was doing a good job of not giving himself away. Toyama was certain that the Diet member and the high-ranked Yakuza used this restaurant for their meetings, but neither had shown himself since he'd started his stakeout. Had word of his activities been leaked? No, that can't be it. He'll definitely come back here. Toyama was certain of it, but despite all his waiting, he hadn't had the slightest cause to click the shutter of his camera. What are you doing? A voice asked suddenly from behind him. Toyama whirled around to see a familiar face. It was a reporter who had worked from a rival paper back when Toyama worked for the Central Times. Oh, you want a stakeout? Sweat beating along Toyama's back. The newcomer glanced cautiously to either side before leaning in to whisper into Toyama's ear. You waiting on the Yakuza boss and the Diet man? Toyama's eyes went wide. How do you know about that? This was supposed to be an exclusive scoop that nobody else had caught wind of. My colleagues and I know about it. It's too big of a lead not to have heard of it, but the top brass has forbidden anyone from looking into it. Toyama's heart sank. He worked so hard, come so far, all just to get his hands on some info that everyone else in the business already had. And not only did they have it, they already decided not to publish it because of the risks involved. I'm telling you this for your own good, Toyama. You need to drop this one. Hey, Sushi, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. You must be joking. Do you know what will happen if I just the slide? Toyama wrote articles because he needed to put food on the table, but he was also motivated by the strong sense of justice. Journalism and justice had to go hand in hand. Come on, Toyama, you're not just some upstart kid anymore. The man frowned like a disapproving schoolteacher. Toyama bristled. At least I'm not the one sacrificing the truth to protect the status quo. Look, if you want to make fun of me, go right ahead. I've got 2 kids and a loan in the house I just bought. Toyama practically lunged at the other fellow. Damn it, man, have you no sense of pride? Whoa, hey, hold on, let me finish. The man pulled free of Toyama's grasp. I came here to find you because I have a scoop for forestall general gossip. Huh? Toyama stared back at him in disbelief. I'm not allowed to write about this, but this business still has to go public, right? Wait, so you're... Yeah, I'm giving you the info I got. He and Toyama shared a conspiratorial look. There's a warehouse down by the docks you might want to check out. Toyama looked near one corner of the dockyard warehouse. A lukewarm breeze wafted against his cheek. How many minutes, no, how many hours had he been waiting? Had he gotten a bogus tip? He had half a mind to give up, but stubbornly he continued to wait. Finally, a black car approached. Toyama hurriedly slipped behind a shipping container and readied his camera. The vehicle parked near the water, the lights cut out, and the engine fell silent. The windows were tinted, concealing whoever was inside. A few minutes passed, and then Toyama heard the sound of a small pleasure yacht humming across the waves. Its light drew closer and closer, making a beeline for this car's position. The craft drew up alongside the pier, and several thugs got out, scattering to secure the area. The car door opened, and someone stepped out. Chiyama readied his camera again. Through the viewfinder, he spied the senior secretary of the Diet member he'd been investigating. If that guy were here for a meeting, there could be no doubt about who he'd sent him. Then someone appeared on the deck of the boat. His suit fluttered majestically in the salty sea breeze. Chiyama recognized this man too. It was the Yakuza boss's right-hand man, his chief negotiator. Chiyama clicked the shutter wildly. He captured the entire scene as the secretary took one of the thug's hands, boarded the craft, and began talking to the Yakuza henchman, looking relaxed and familiar. This would be a political bombshell. The unveiling of such a major link between the government and the underworld would turn Japan on its head. Huh? One of the thugs picked up a faint sound of the camera shutter. He began striding in Chiyama's direction. The two made eye contact through the viewfinder. Uh-oh, not a good time to get discovered. Chiyama scurried away, desperate to flee the scene. He spotted a truck parked a short way down the road. There was no time to look for something better. He clambered up and hid himself in the bed of the truck. A moment later, the truck's engine started and the vehicle sped away. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Did he happen to jump into the same truck that Hana just played hide and seek in? Chiyama laid huddled on one side, his eyes scrunched tightly shut. Only occasionally did he risk a glimpse at the passing scenery. The truck left the harbor and got onto the Shudo Expressway. Then it merged onto the Tomoe Expressway. That meant it was going to keep heading west, probably for quite some distance. It was indeed a good long while before the truck finally stopped. Once he heard the driver get out and walk away, Chiyama popped his head up and took a look around. His eyes lighted on a blue road sign nearby. Nagoya? Oh, this was bad. He needed to get back to Tokyo right away. Wearily, he dragged himself to his feet. As he did, he said something behind him. Dad? Hana, is that you? Somehow, Chiyama's daughter was in the bed of the truck there with him. Hana, what are you doing here? I wanted to be the hide-and-seek champion. Hide-and-seek? So wait, you hid in the back of this truck and then... Hello, Furry Lover 14. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Hana gave a tiny nod. But what are you doing here, Dad? Oh, right. Well, Daddy was chasing after a scoop, and the Yakuza were involved. I was about to get shot, and I jumped in the truck and found you. Yeah, the two chuckled awkwardly. Well, first things first, Tarama said. We need to get home. They climbed out of the back of the truck and started walking. So did you manage to become a hide-and-seek champion? Definitely. The kid who's it still hasn't found me, after all. What about you and your scoop, Dad? Oh, I was right on the mark. Sales for the next issue of 4-Star General Gossip are going to be through the roof. I guess it makes you champion too, Dad. I guess you're right. And as dawn broke over the streets of Nagoya, father and daughter walked amiably along, hand in hand. Aww. We're ending on a heartwarming and Shibuya side stories. We got all the side stories done. Yo, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. We started the stream super wholesome and everyone was crying. Literally everybody was crying. And now we have made it to things. We're warming up a cinnamon roll? Nice. Yo, Sushi, you missed it earlier. Like, there was so many tears. So many tears are being shed. It was the most heart-wrenching story ever. That's it. That's all the bonus content that is here. We got all 22 episodes, meeting all the minor characters, as well as Minarikawa, letting known that his appearance will be in canon. We got everybody here. We still don't know Rumi's face. I want to know what Rumi's face looks. Oh wait, no, I know where Rumi's face is. Squid Kai 2. Just watch the first hour of the stream. Just watch the first hour of the stream for Suzune's story. You will cry. You will cry. See? Furry Lover knows what's going on. Alright, so the next stream of 428 Shibuya Scramble will be the last one. So I was informed So, what we're going to be doing is next stream. This will be on Saturday. This will be on Saturday, probably in the middle of the day. Either that's going to be in the morning after Animal Crossing. We're going to be doing Canon Story first. Canon Story is, I believe, slightly longer than Suzune's. It's either slightly longer or slightly less than Suzune's story. So we will start with that. Then there is another scenario. This one takes place a few times, and David told me about this one. You guys are going to love this one because there's also an Easter egg included in this one. Let me see. I'm just double checking. Oops. Yeah. So, look at all the screaming. There's a video on YouTube of it. That is true. That's true. Yep, okay, once you've done this, if you need jumps will appear inside the blue. Okay, yeah, so there's 5 yeah. So what we're gonna be doing, so we're doing canon story, and then we're gonna be doing a very comical story after that. This one I did have to look up a little bit because we can find it normally. Like, well, I don't really need to. I just had to look up like how to get it because this one's a little bit of a doozy and it's kind of funny. It is really funny, but it has a really cool Easter egg that I'll get to show you guys. And then we got 2 more really, really short ones. I believe that one is super, super short. And then let me just see here. Gotcha. Okay. The last one, David said I had to look up because otherwise I would be stuck forever. I just read how to do it. Holy crap, I don't know how you would ever figure that out unless the game made allusion to it. Holy crap. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Anywho, Sushi and Furry, though, he ended up showing up right at the end of the stream. There's a lot of names. Do we want to go on a raid? Give some cheese. Yo, cheese is pretty good. Let's go on a raid. Who is available? But this game, you guys really should give this game a chance. This game is fucking amazing. We will be playing some Dead by Daylight. Zombie. Oh, he's playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Of course, then. Yeah, that's easy. All right, what is our ridiculous long raid tag? It has to be Suzude. There you go. Tears and Hearts Out for Suzune kit raid. He looks like he's on break right now, but King Cheese. We could do that later. We could do that later. Hotome Nachi for life. We'll do that, assuming we have enough people for it. So Zombies. He's playing some Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which we're also streaming as well. It's a really fun game. Let's go check it out. There's his link. We'll be back though in like 45 minutes to an hour or so, depending on food and such, to play some Dead by Daylight. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed 428 Shibuya Scramble, and have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, and or evening. My name is Katathi. I'll see you guys next time for more Variety Gaming. See you guys later. Peace. Bye, everyone.